Hello, we're live, I hope. Can anyone confirm that? Can you see it?
It says live in the corner.
Yeah,
Hey.
We're live.
So hello, welcome to a long-awaited Sega Sessions. We haven't done one of these for ages. So you got myself on a retro tip, Pete. We got Sega Saturn Lad, top middle.
Hello.
King of the car boot, Mr. Kevin Woolford, 1, 2, 3, in the top right there. Got Scott Sega Zombie, bottom left. And the man, Sinisteve, bottom right. Amiga legend, Amiga in the background there. Where do you want to start, guys? We've got a few topics we want to talk about. Do you want to have a general chit-chat before we jump into topics? A free-for-all?
Do that if you want.
Yeah, why not?
Where do you want to start?
I don't know what you got.
You had any pickups?
Pickups, good choice. Well, I've had a nice pickup from someone on this stream, haven't I, Steve? Nice little parcel.
You did? Yeah. What did you think of them? I actually thought they were quite nice.
I thought they
were as nice as they were, I didn't think.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Steve, so for everyone else, Steve sent me a couple of Amiga games that I've been after for ages. I've been, do you know what? I've been on like a big box kick, like Amiga and PC. Just kind of, I got a bit more space, got rid of a lot of stuff, so I'm getting some of those big box games that I wanted for ages. So yeah, Steve sent me Speedball 2 and Chaos Engine for the Amiga, two classics from childhood. But yeah, I thought it was all right. I did swap out the front of the box because I bought Chaos Engine and it got mashed, mate. They put it in a jiffy and it was crushed, but it was only the back that was crushed. So the actual front like lid was fine, so I just stuck the lid on that one.
Yeah,
spot on.
Okay. I actually tell them now, like whenever I win a game, especially quite an expensive one, I make sure to say, look, send it in a box if you can.
I always do, but sometimes they're like, yeah, sure, and they just fucking send it in a jiffy anyway.
Nightmare. It's very addictive, them big box games, aren't they? Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you need Command and Conquer? Because in my local charity shop, they've got the massive box edition, like the big box. It's like double size. I don't know if you need that. I think it's £2.
Jesus.
So I don't know if you're after it. I can pick it up for you. It's literally down the road.
Steve's always after it, aren't you?
Maybe.
There's two of them. I can't remember what.
What kind of Conquer is it? What, like the original one just before Red Alert?
If I'm honest, I saw it was Command and Conquer on the side, but I think it's like a multi-pack sort of thing where it's got everything in one. And then there was two of them. There was two different boxes, one smaller. I didn't pay too much. I just saw them and I was like, because they keep them at the back with my charity shop. They have a box where you just have games of all different types. And then they have the games they don't put out because people nick them. So they stick the other stuff out the back, but every game is £2 in there. So,
Jesus.
I mean, if you're after it and it's something you're in, I can get a picture of it.
Get a pic, definitely. If it's, I quite like the Command and Conquer series, to be honest. Don't mind it.
Funnily enough, I just bought Command & Conquer Big Box on eBay 2 hours ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been after that one.
More than £2.
It was more than £2, yeah, Scott. It was unfortunately about a tenner, but... Oh, no, I think it was about £8. Yeah, not too bad.
But usually the big boxes are like sort of that sort of size, but this one seems to be a lot longer. So I'm guessing it's some sort of multi-pack with all DLC. Was it Tides of War? Is that one? Did it say Tides?
That sounds newer, I would say. I mean,
it was the old school Command and Conquer, though.
Then it went Red Alert. After that was Tiberian Sun, and then after that, I sort of
maybe that was it. I don't know. It was an old big box. I think it said on the side 95 or 98.
Oh wow,
something like that. So I don't know. I'll go in there. I'm sure it's still there. It's been there for like the last 3 times I've been in there. So
yeah,
nobody sees out the back. I just get like a sneak out the back and have a look.
Yeah.
So anyone else had some good pickups?
X-Men versus Street Fighter on the Saturn from Japan. I've just got into Saturn, so I had one before, and it's another story, but I've got back into it again. I got everything, got rid of it, and then I got the OSSC, and it sort of brought me back to, I like the crisp pixels, so for me, it sparked the gaming again, and then especially the fighting games, they look incredible, and I never really had any of the Japanese fighting games, and of course it was Sega Saturn Lad. He said to me, you're playing the PlayStation version, don't do that. You need the Saturn one. So I was like, okay. And I started picking them up. So, yeah.
It's all my fault.
It's good. Yeah, it's worth it though. I've been playing it a lot. I love it. Fantastic. I've got, what else? Street Fighter 0 and 02. A few reproductions, Police Noughts, because obviously the translation.
Yeah.
Because it was, I played Snatcher recently and finished that, and I loved it. And then people said, like, this is his next sort of one to play, and obviously I didn't have access to it, and I've never played it before, so playing through that.
Have you been playing it? Have you had Police Noughts?
Yeah, I'm on disc 2. I'm not super far in. I think the first disc was pretty quick, if I remember. Like, it went through pretty fast.
What's the soundtrack like? I know I've got the Data Discs soundtrack on vinyl, and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I haven't even opened it yet.
That's terrible.
Well, I'll play the game myself, see if I like it.
Get it on the record player, mate. Get it on the record player.
I've got a record player.
Yeah, whack it on there.
Yeah, I should.
You could do it now if you want.
I will get round to it. I bought Sam Fender on vinyl today. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's quite good.
Sam Fender?
Sam Fender, yeah.
Oh, Sam Tendo.
No, Sam Fender.
Sam Fender. Sorry, I'm getting old. I'm dead.
I know the name. I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
I'm getting old as well.
I don't know any of this stuff Steve listens to. When we're in the car, I'm like, I know.
You do the same as me. You put the music on, and then you're on the radio, skipping backwards and forwards.
I tend to do podcasts in the car. I very rarely listen to music when I'm driving.
What podcast you listen to?
I listen to the radio quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're a dying breed, Scott.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm one of the only people that do. I've still got a CD player in my car though, and I've got no means to hook anything up.
Same here, Scott.
Wow. I got a CD player, but I've got an auxiliary in or whatever.
Yeah, I've got the Bluetooth on mine, so I just use Spotify and usually stick on 80s music, and then then I go onto the radio sometimes, and then I'm just like, what the hell is this crap? And it's like, oh, number one, some guy today was like called H, and I was like, I'm old. I don't know who these people are, and it's just a guy chatting. Just
I quite like Absolute Radio. I think that's XFM. They're not too bad stations.
Yeah. Trouble is with those, I do like the music they play, but when you listen to them for too long, you can tell they do play the same sort of playlist.
It's on a loop.
Yeah.
As well. But you put Radio 1 on now, and that's when you know you're old, when Radio 1 is just,
Radio 1 kills me. I don't know what's going on.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't listen to it. No.
So I stopped listening to Radio 1 when they got rid of Jo Wiley, because I thought she was one of the only sort of DJs who actually knew a thing about music. Then they got Fern Cotton to replace her, and now they got rid of Fern Cotton and replaced her with whoever else. So you're getting old.
Well, Jo Wiley, I mean, when was that? That's at least 10 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 years. I think I really listened to Radio 1 properly.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
But let's be honest, lads, none of us are the demographic of Radio 1.
Oh, no.
No, definitely not. I don't like to admit it.
You can try and convince yourself, but you ain't.
I'll tell you, like, Spotify has just saved my life, man. Like, because we got we just bought it. It's like family pack. So me and the missus get it, and it's like 15 quid a month. But we listen to it like hours every day,
Yeah.
Definitely get our money's worth. And it recommends music to you and all this stuff. And it's just so easy to find stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and I do like Spotify. They do a lot of recommendations, don't they? And you just listen to music you've never heard of before and just love it just by what you're listening to before. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's clever. So who we got in the chat? We have, let's see if this is going to work. Game Boys are awesome. Look at this. It's fancy, isn't it?
Oh, that's clever.
Looks smart.
So Kieran, hello, mate. Good to see you. We also have UK Misfit, Trump's banned vaping. So lucky we don't live in the States or care. And then we have Bearded Manchild, who has Oi Sugar Tits.
So legend. Craig, lovely guy.
Yeah, he is a legend. Night Shift just got interested. Craig, where are your like gaming news videos? You remember he started doing that gaming news?
Yeah, I was enjoying those.
That was brilliant. I really want to see more of that.
Got to bring them back, definitely. What was it? YouTube at 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
That was great, man. I really enjoyed that. And like, Just the whole format was really good.
Mm.
So just off topic, or maybe, switching the topic slightly because I didn't write it on my list of topics. Who's going to Blackpool?
No.
Well,
Hopefully.
obviously.
I'm on the Friday. I'm coming on the Friday.
Yeah, good.
I'd love to because it's near my birthday.
The whole shebang.
Sorry, Scott, are you coming or?
Yeah.
Yeah, happy days.
Nice.
What's your plan, Pete? Like, are you going to the event on the Saturday and then staying Saturday night as well, or?
Yeah, just usual. So I'll drive up Friday morning. I've got stopped by Richard Turner's, say hello, and then Friday night's always the one to get in it.
Yeah, I've never been to one.
Oh mate, Friday night there is nuts. It's just like so many people there on the Friday night there. It's crazy. And then I'll do the Saturday and do a bit of filming and stuff, and stay Saturday night, quiet one Saturday night, stay Saturday night and head off Sunday early.
Oh, is it 3 times a year now, isn't it, Blackpool? Was it twice a year?
Well, I think it's once a year, but they had 2 this year for some weird reason. I think because they cancelled Manchester in October because they had a disagreement with the venue. So they did an extra bonus Blackpool in February, but I think that was a one-off. But I think it would just go back to once a year now.
Yeah, they're oversaturating it, ain't they, to a degree?
A little bit. I mean, I don't mind. It's a meet-up, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully the arcade club meet would go ahead again next year. I know Daz has kind of taken a bit of a step away from the gaming scene.
Yeah, but we can all organise it between us. I'm sure someone will organise one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because that was brilliant.
It was good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, really, really good.
Definitely, if there's not going to be a big revival next year, there needs to be something like that, I think.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Yeah, well, I think that was kind of seen as like the unofficial tubers meet up away from any kind of event, really, because I think with the event, that kind of there's always people will want to go and see the event, whereas people are just sort of solely meeting up to meet other guys in the community and just enjoy the old arcade clubs, and and it's a fantastic venue, and even I know obviously a lot of us are based in the south, which we could be called the Southern Tubers actually, couldn't we? So it is a bit of a trek for us lot, but it's well worth it going on.
It's worth the travel. I mean, not even just for the meet. I mean, anyone that knows me knows I love me arcades, and it's just worth it. There's nowhere else like it in the country. And, except for Leeds now. Obviously, there's a new arcade club at Leeds, so might be a good venue for next year.
I would love for someone to do a proper, decent arcade place down south. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, me too, man.
Definitely. But as far as I'm pretty sure that Andy Arcade Club is working his way down. I mean, I was hearing rumours of somewhere like Nottingham or Leicester.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah,
which is still a bit too far, but at least it's not.
Yeah, it's still a mission, ain't it?
It's like a one-nighter, whereas Blackpool, or like Manchester, I don't even want to go for a one-nighter because it's just a mission. It's like 3.5, 4 hours. Yeah. Although having said that, I mean, I have been to like arcade club in Manchester like 9 or 10 times, which is a lot considering like we're miles away, but it is so good.
Yeah.
I've done quite a few events. Blackpool will be like my 5th event this year. Like if you include that arcade club meetup, because there'll be like 2 Blackpools, Manchester and Revival.
Yeah.
Quite a lot for a year. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't go to any markets. There's all the markets. I mean, there's loads of stuff now, but none of it is down this way.
Yeah, no one seems to go to London Market much anymore, do they? That used to be a bit of a meet-up, didn't it? But
I went to one, and then I just ended up being busy on all of them, and then it's just like,
Yeah. Obviously, Ali in Southend, me and Steve were there the same evening. He's got his. I mean, obviously, it's a lot smaller than Arcade Club, but it's nice to have a sort of presence down here, really, as well.
Definitely, yeah, it's good. That really nice.
Yeah,
I really need to get down there. I've not been down there yet to Ali's store or his little arcade.
Yeah, it's well worth it, definitely. And he's a lovely guy, Ali, as well. Really nice fella.
Yeah, well, he's only 10 minutes away from me, so he's a ledge.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
Yeah, I'm always popping down there, probably like once a month or so, see what he's got. But it's nice to support the local small business.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's one. I don't know if you guys have heard about one called Allgen. That's down in Rochester. I mean, funnily enough, I've never actually been there, but I heard it shut down yesterday. It's been open for about 3 or 4 years, all retro gaming, but there was no arcades, and that's why it didn't really appeal. So I just figured I've sort of got everything they've probably got anyway.
Yeah.
But it is a shame, all these sort of, there's a lot of retro stuff around, but it's just whether it can last or not.
Yes, yeah. Chat's quite quiet, isn't it? It's not
much. Very quiet. We've got
Kev's used to about 250 views on his live stream.
Yeah, I know he is.
I did shout it out. I'm sure I did. Let me check.
We got a comment from Hilton saying Streets of Rage, and I'm not sure if that's a instruction or a question. But we'll hopefully find out.
Who's got the bigger channel, you or Kev? Pete, I mean.
Pete, innit?
Don't know, mate. How many you got? Probably you, innit?
I've changed it, or I don't even know how you check anymore. It's all changed.
I know, that really annoyed me.
16.8.
Yeah, I'm only like 16.1 or something.
That just went mental. That was like...
That was like 2-3 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just like a month where it was like... I think it was like 11k subs. That's in a month. It just went mad. It just went viral for no reason. And then everyone... So many people saying, I don't even like car boots, and I'm watching.
Yeah,
but I'm enjoying it and stuff like that. And
yeah, that is ridiculous.
You know, people who don't even like gaming who are just watching. So it was mad, and I'm grateful for it. But like at the same time, it's kind of overwhelming. You sort of you get swamped all of a sudden. People jump on, and you go to do a live stream, and whereas you'll play a game and chat to maybe 3-4 people, and then you would go in and there's 180 people, and the chat's just going like that.
Jesus,
it was just bonkers. But I did put it on there, but.
I always find like when you get YouTube recommending a video and it goes like blows up a bit, I always get like, I'm sure you got them as well. You get all these comments from people going, "Get the fuck out of my recommended," and like, and it's like, I didn't fucking recommend it, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was YouTube.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I had some strange comments as well. Some sort of like, there was one that said, "Here comes the man with a bag of 50p's to spoil your day," and he says the cheap shite, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, he just said I'm having PTSD from when I went to the car boot last." I was like, "Fair enough." I was just like, "I need that on the shirt." It was great.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's all good,
that's crazy, mate. That is like mental growth. So I've never seen that kind of growth like in all my time of doing YouTube. You know, even the big people don't get that in a month.
It wasn't even the thing is, I've always said my stuff's crap. Honestly, like when I've always praised you, Pete. Like your quality is there's second to none. I love it. And then I do my crap, which is just with a GoPro messing about on the camera, the worst editing you've ever seen.
Yeah, but that's what YouTube is. YouTube was built on that, you know.
And then I got like, I think it was like 200k views, and I was just like, what do you do? What do you say to that? Like, it's, and you're like, there's better people to watch. Go watch them, and then just, I don't know. I'm grateful.
Not giving yourself enough credit there, Kev. To be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
a lot of people gravitate like this. You get certain people that gravitate towards sort of the polish, and you get other people that gravitate towards the actual tuber. So if you're slagging off your polish, then you must have something about you.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, loads
I'm completely fucked. I haven't got neither.
Shuck off. loads of people hate the kind of stuff I do, so it's like swings and roundabouts, isn't it? People like different stuff.
Oh yeah, when you're smaller, you find you've got that sort of market of people who are in the same interests. Like, so when you start with like 1,000 subs, you've got people who watch because they're into the same stuff as you, which is great. And then when you get like when it goes like that, and you get more people in, you obviously get the trolls. You start getting. I've had some disgusting comments like for no reason at all, absolute abuse, which I won't even repeat on here, like horrendous stuff that you wouldn't say to anyone. But that's sort of stuff that gets them locked up for the stuff they're saying. You're like, mate, I just block, don't even read. Like,
exactly, I don't reply.
It's not even worth replying. If you reply, then it's just feeding them. But like,
yeah,
over a car boot video.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. Like, you know, the more people come in, the more shit you're going to get, and idiots and this, that, and the other. But
it's crazy how your channel's gone, though, Kev. I mean, yeah, I think it's the anyone can relate to picking up bargains at a car boot. So you know, you're kind of being very general with your sort of like audience, I guess, really, aren't you? You know, anyone can watch it and think, oh, he's got a bargain which is worth 50 quid for 50p.
Yeah.
You know, and
I never used to put things in, like, you know, the pop-ups.
Yeah.
So I just started doing that on the last one, just to say what stuff trades in for, because I never used to pick stuff up. I used to be too kind. I'd go up and find a bag of Wii games and be like, you know what, I'll leave that for some kid. And then Tootie's like, no, you pick it up, because if you don't, the reseller's going to pick it up and trade it in. So you might as well get it. So I started doing it, and that got me in the NES set. So that's how it was funded from CEX. But like, I've had some, like, I was streaming one day and I got a guy called Thatcher Joe come in, Joe Sugg. Have you heard of him? 8 million subs. He's on like Strictly Come Dancing and things, and he started watching my videos, and he just come to say hello. I didn't know who he was. I'm like, why's this guy got a tick by his name? And then they're like, oh, don't you know who he is? I'm like, nah. And he's like, oh, he's on Strictly Come Dancing. I was like, oh, I don't really watch that rubbish. And I really didn't know who he was, and I was like, oh, I feel a bit bad now.
Amazing.
So, and then you're like, why are you watching me? And he's sitting there in his spare time doing like a vlog on his Instagram saying, oh, watching car boot videos. And he started doing it. So now he got into it, and he's going to car boots, picking up random stuff like camcorders and things just because he watched it.
But there's I think you were in my mind like one of the first in the community kind of do that, and now you've got a lot of other people. You've got obviously Holster doing it. Is it Wishwash? He does it. Yeah. Obviously, you know, Kieran Chappelle, he does it as well. But I think you were one of the first in my mind that really started doing active sort of videos from the car boot.
I think it was Lee. I'm losing his last name. His name was like Retro Fusion. Do you remember that name?
Oh, yeah,
I know Lee. Yeah, he's still making videos, isn't he?
Yeah, he started it, and then he just went and deleted everything.
Yeah,
so,
he now does a lot of things behind the camera now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does,
Yeah. And then Kieran, obviously, he was like, oh, I'm going to try that. And he did it. And then Kieran's like, you should do it. Go for it. And I was like, I don't know, maybe not. And I just had a cheap Call of Duty camera, this like basic thing. And I was like, I don't want to spend the money out. And I just tried it. And then it got some views in. And then I thought, well, maybe I should spend a bit more on a camera. And then that camera died. I was like, getting a GoPro. But like, you can't go around. Obviously, you see the Game Chasers, you see Pixel Game Squad and that, and they've got the 4K camera on their shoulder. You can't do that at a car boot. Like, you walk around, they're going to be like, get out. But GoPro, it's rough and ready.
It's subtle as well. Like, it's not in someone's face when you're buying something off them, you know?
Nah, black t-shirt, black camera on you with a black strap. You don't really see it. You don't. I don't force it like in their faces. It's just I just try and film and don't touch it so people don't, you know, get so. Because some people do get funny. They see a camera and they're like, "What are you filming for?" You know, they get really. But then most of the time,
they have to put their cock away.
Yeah, that's it.
Very inconvenient.
Just when you forget, and you go in the local toilets and you're just like, and then you upload the video to YouTube and you're like, instant ban, goodbye. Or maybe it'll blow up.
Yeah, that's it. I, you know, there are a lot of people doing it, but like, not to knock anyone else who does it, because I watch quite a few of them and I enjoy them. But I think that your like voiceover format and everything is like is the best ones. I think you do it the best.
I try and keep it simple, but like, I put myself down a lot, but like, I don't know. I'm in that stage where when I watch other people like the Game Chasers and things, and they're doing their stuff, or Flea Market Madness from Pat the Nez Punk, and I see that, and I'm just like, it's so much better, and I just feel like I don't deserve it. And then if they upload a video, and it gets 27k views. Like, I used to say, I'll dream of something like that, and then I'll get 200k, and I'm like, I don't feel like I should have it, you know? And it doesn't bother me. I'm happy to give this. If you could go take the views, and I'd give them to anyone. I'd give them to you, Pete, definitely, because I watch your videos, and I see them. Honestly, the video quality.
What's wrong with you, man?
It's incredible, and I'm just like, have it.
Just take the fucking views, mate, and be happy.
Okay,
done.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, you should be happy, mate.
I'm happy, but I feel like other people deserve it more. So it's
so do I. I mean, I think we all do. Like, when you get like a video does well or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah, but some of the biggest channels are these, you know, these Asian Chinese kids opening
sweets and
presents.
stuff.
Yeah, absolute crap.
It's dog shit.
And you know, I mean, obviously the parents will pimp their kids out, but it's, you know, I mean, does that channel justify its views? Not at all, but it's what people want to watch, ain't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
give the people what they want. Who are you to deny them, Kev?
Yeah, okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Funnily enough, like my highest viewed video by far is like one of my worst videos. It's so like annoying to me. Do you know what I mean? That like the video that YouTube really pushed was just shit. That was
it the one? What was it? Was it not Commodore? Was it?
It's like DOS games.
DOS. That's it.
Yeah,
it wasn't shit though. I enjoyed it.
No, it was like, honestly, it was terrible. Like pretty much. I mean, I don't know how many videos I've uploaded, say like 215, something like that. And I've probably got 5 that I'm like, oh, happy with that. You know, when I finish, I'm like really like beat myself up over every little tiny mistake. But that one is terrible. Like it really genuinely is terrible. I didn't script it at all. It's just like, I keep saying, yeah, it's really, really like saying the same shit over and over again. It's terrible, man. I wouldn't watch it.
Well, I liked it.
Thanks. But yeah, that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't see many videos on DOS anyway, so I suppose.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I quite like the more niche stuff. But, I mean, how many videos of cancelled Amiga games are on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think
that'll do quite well.
Well, I think there might be 1 or 2, but they're literally just like footage.
Yeah,
like not talking about exactly. So there's no like information. You really have to go digging for the information, and that kind of another thing that does annoy me a bit. So like some people who are you know, not fans of that kind of video will say, oh, you know, anyone can look that stuff up on Google, and it's like, okay, I'll give you 2 choices. You can spend 20 to 30 hours doing the research and learn about it, or I can do it and I can put it in a half-an-hour video.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about any of that sort of stuff, Pete, to be honest.
Well, I'm not worried. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, I'm just saying, like, that's kind of...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's other people's research, because obviously they research it and they put it online, and it's kind of chopping it down and putting it... So, like, yeah, there are other, like, cancelled Amiga games videos, but probably not, like, all that information in one place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
I'm about halfway through it, but really enjoying it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's got some quite interesting ones.
I think personally that is your best one yet.
Oh, cheers, man.
The cancelled ones, honestly, it was brilliant. I loved every minute of that. I watched it
nice.
earlier on today.
Yeah, it's fun to do. It's like really interesting seeing, like, there's so many cancelled Amiga games out there. Oh my god, hundreds.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like finding the ones that have got a bit of footage or like some interesting info, because some of them is just like you can't even find out who developed the game, let alone like any history.
Yeah.
And then you've got to cross-check it, because you can't just go straight in and go, oh, that one says this, and then you go, oh yeah, that's it, and then someone will go, nope, this is the fact, and then they start pissing all over your video, and then you
Absolutely.
go, yeah. So you can't just, that's what it said, hours and hours and hours of hunting.
Yeah, definitely.
Me red hot at the moment, though, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah,
definitely. How many do you own now, Scott? You've got 4 of them now, haven't you?
Well, thanks to Steve's influence, I've just picked up another Amiga to try and make a good one out of the 2.
Steve's like the crack dealer on the corner of YouTube. He's like, do you want some of this shit, man?
Yeah, no, I've really got to sort of step away from Amiga. The collection's nearly finished on Amiga, I think. And then I'll move on to something else, maybe concentrate on Mega Drive again, I think.
Wow.
We'll see.
I've been selling loads more than I've been buying, I tell you. Just like, have I played this in a year? Like, I started getting all my GameCube stuff out earlier, because last night I was going to bed and I was like, I haven't played GameCube for like 2 years. Fucking get rid of it, you know?
Wow. What, the actual GameCube or?
My whole collection, the console, all my controllers, all my games. Just fucking get rid of it.
That's what I was saying, though. A lot of people, they have a full collection of whatever, you know, they collect everything and anything, and they've just got like 600 PS2 games, and you're like, are you really playing probably 500 of those games? And I know there's people that collect because they like to collect, but then I've got to that point where I don't have the room, so I only go for. I've got the full NES set, and then it's just the AAA stuff, the stuff that I will definitely play and go back to, and then anything that's filler, I just move on and then get more AAA, just because I don't have the space.
Yeah,
it's just it takes up a lot of room. It does, especially boxed.
Yeah.
It pretty much works out that I never have to spend money on stuff. Like when I wanted a Switch, I just took some old tat that I wasn't playing, and I just get a free Switch from CEX. Do you know what I mean? Like, having like put the effort in like years and years ago and built up a reasonable collection. Like 2 houses ago when I moved, you just kind of realised like I was that person. I had like 600 PS2 games and like 400 PS1 games, and then now I've probably got like 100 between them because. They're just loads of shit, and you end up just picking up stuff. Oh, I haven't got it. I'll just get it, you know?
Yeah.
And I just got to a point where it's like I'd rather have like a really small, streamlined collection, and like I can see more of it. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't. If I had a massive room and you could have like shelves all the way around, you could see every one of your games. But I was having stuff like 3 deep because you got to stack it away, and then it's like you forget about the stuffs in the back.
Yeah.
You know, 6 months later, you're like, "Fuck, I forgot I had this."
Yeah,
it's a very divisive subject, I think, isn't it? Like collecting. Some people will want one of everything, regardless of what it is. Others are very clear and concise. You know, I want X, Y, Z. You know, there's no one size fits all approach to it, really. The only thing I would say is that you kind of have to have a sort of balance of the two, really. But you know, I think you do also sometimes take a step back and think, I don't need, you know, X, Y, Z. You know, if it's just going to be.
Well, I said years ago, and it was again probably about 3 or 4 years ago, that I've never actually bought a game that I never wanted to play, and I said that years ago, and I just think once you buy everything, because it is an addiction. I really think that game collecting or anything in our hobbies, it is an addiction. And once you buy everything you want, I think that's when the collecting really starts. You end up buying everything you haven't got.
Yeah.
And I think we all go through that. I think we've all gone through that where it becomes an addiction, and you think enough, because you just start buying up stuff that you don't play, or you know, then it comes to the point that happened to me a couple of years ago. I was just buying anything, and you just sort of think to yourself, why am I buying all this? You know, that's why I focus mostly on Sega. And for me, I'll only ever try and get a full set for the Mega Drive. That's the only set I want that I'm going to have loads of shelf filling crap in. Everything else is just going to be...
Have you split the Dreamcast collection up then, Scott?
Pardon?
Have you split the Dreamcast collection up?
No, I've still got the full set of the Dreamcast. Okay. But I had nearly a full set anyway, so I thought, well, I might as well just
finish it. Yeah,
he was about 5 games away for like 4 years, and like, hurry up and finish it.
About 4 years. But I finished that up because I thought, well, I might as well. But personally, a lot with me has been refocusing this year. I just wanted to refocus, and the same with Pete. Is like he's saying, hold on, I don't play my GameCube. I've got an Atari Jaguar collection that is not seen the light of day for ages, and I thought it's time to go. You know, you've got to let go of this stuff.
It's hard to let go of that sort of stuff, though, ain't it? When you've had it for quite a few years, it's difficult, ain't it?
I tell you what, it's so hard, right? Especially when you got like mental health issues, like all of us. But when you actually start doing it, it is like amazing. When you start getting rid of stuff, and then it's like a snowball, and you just start like, what else can I get rid of?
Yeah. You're like,
oh my god,
I don't need this, I don't need that, and you just never ends.
You start
talking. When we was at Arcade Club, I was talking to Mark Horsburgh, who, in his if you go back to his early videos, he had a huge collection of stuff. Literally, you know, nearly full Xbox, PS2. I think he said there was 4,000 games in his games room at one point, and he got rid of all of it. And you know, he says that him and his missus got married, and they went to Dubai on the back of that, and he's been able to sort of buy the arcades, buy the pinballs, and he says he enjoys it a hell of a lot more now.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. It's just you need to get maybe take a step back from something.
It's that balance, isn't it? It's having a good balance.
And it's a lot of money. Like, imagine how much he made selling all that. And like, I've just been getting rid of little bits and bobs for maybe the last 2 years, and I'm making thousands selling this stuff. It's not like just like a few hundred quid. Do you know what I mean? You make thousands, because like Scott was saying that it helps to have a focus when you don't want to have that problem of I'm going to buy everything. And that's why I started doing my full Dreamcast set, because I was like, this is getting out of hand. I need like something I'm going to buy that and that's it. And I did the full Dreamcast set, and I had it for like 2 years, and then I got rid of it. What was it, a year or two ago? And I thought, right, I'll sell half of it off. And it was like $2,500 in a week. Do you know what I mean? Just selling half of it. And there's shit I would never even play. It's just because I was going to do the full set, and I was never going to touch them. And then I don't miss them or anything. It was hard kind of getting to the point where I was like, right, I'm going to do it. But then once you start doing it, it's like really liberating.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
It's like I had Panzer Dragoon Saga, Street Fighter 03, and a Framemeister, and I sold them, and that was $1,000. It's like, it's just 3 items I haven't barely used for. And I know people, you can't sell that, this is, 2 of the most sought after games on the Saturn, but it's like, I haven't played them for years. And
it's funny how people try to tell you can't sell that.
Yeah.
Like, what business of yours is it,
Yeah, it's very true.
But
I did it. Go on.
I think we've all got something in common, because we're gamers as well as collectors. Like
I game more than collect.
Collector, they don't play this stuff, so to them it is like just solely a collection. But with us lot, it seems to be that I've mentioned it in my last few videos. Is I hadn't got the balance right. I'm collecting like mad, and where's my time for the gaming? So I've set myself, to try and move forward, and I'm playing a loads more, and I'm enjoying my collection more for that. Just by setting my time aside to just play the games, and going through it is where I've assessed that, hold on, that Atari stuff, I don't play it. I've got no intention of playing it. And from that point of view, being a gamer, that's, how we have letting this stuff go and making loads of money on doing that.
Yeah, that's what I did, because I got the NES set, obviously, because I don't know if you've seen it, car booting. I found a NES, and it sparked that. I was just playing it on RF, like on the TV, on an LCD TV, like crappiest quality ever, playing Kirby. And I was just like, I'm loving this. And then I was like, there's a high def kit coming out. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to jump on that. And then I started getting a few more games. I'm like, I fancy that. And then I was looking up, obviously, the titles you don't really hear of. And I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. And I didn't know DuckTales 2 existed. And DuckTales was my favourite game as a kid. And I was like, wow. And then I was playing that, and you find more and more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already 100 in. I might as well carry on. And then I did the set. But then the same thing is, I've been jumping on all these new systems. And I got the 64, right? And I got the 64 and I had it RGB modded. And I played it, and I was just so disappointed with that. It for me, I put it on, and I was just like, this is crap. No offense if anyone loves 64, but I was just like, the controls are crap, the graphics are crap, and when they're on like the OSSC, it's just a massive pixels, just blown up. It looked horrible, and I just was like, I can't enjoy it. And I was like, well, I'll get rid of it. And a guy says to me, what are you after? And I was like, oh, well, a Dreamcast. I want to get a Dreamcast because I regretted getting rid of that. Like, that was one of my biggest regrets. And he was like, well, I've got one fully kitted with, the region 3 BIOS. It's got, everything's refurb, recapped a lot. It's got a GD EMU, like, as a bonus. It had everything, the lot. And he was just like, I'll do a swap. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. So I just did a straight swap. I sent it today. So I'm going to get that and jump on that. But until I've got the games, because obviously I don't want to start using the backups because it wears the laser out really bad with cheap media. I thought I'll use the GD EMU for now until I've built up a collection, and then I can swap it out, swap the drive over, and then I can sell the GD EMU and then recoup like 60 quid. It's not too bad. So I get you.
I think the N64 has aged the worst out of all consoles.
Horrible.
Oh,
horrible.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah,
I
no,
can remember
I agree with that.
the 64 was a console. I never personally had one myself, but my best mate did. And it was such a great console for the time.
GoldenEye was daily. Like every day, 4-player, non-stop. Get to the weekend, friends all pile around GoldenEye non-stop. And you play it now and you're just like, what am I doing? The controls
I actually think that's the exception. I still absolutely love playing GoldenEye, but I know I'm like sort of in the minority there.
My favourite 64 game is F-Zero. I think that's really plays very well, and so does Wave Race. That's good fun.
Wave Race,
games. Yeah. Mario 64 is an absolute classic. You know, that is a fantastic game. You know, I've never been one for the Zeldas.
The controls are fine. Mario 64 does that thing where you walk forward, but then if you want to walk backwards, most games just walk backwards. But he doesn't. He goes round. So I'll get to a cliff. I'm so used to it. I'll get to a cliff, and I'll walk forward, and I'll press down, and he'll just walk off the cliff and die. And I'm like, what are you doing that for? And I was just screaming at it more than enjoying it. And it just sat there. And I had some good games. I had Banjo-Kazooie, stuff like that. I had Smash Brothers. But there's so many better games now and better versions of Smash Brothers and Mario 64 stuff. Ocarina of Time is a better version on the 3DS. It kind of it's killed it. You know?
A Dreamcast for an N64 is no brainer in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I ordered the he did a Retro Bright on the system, but I've ordered I don't know if you've noticed, you guys, in Australia there's a guy making third party cases. They've got clear white, clear black, and they're doing clear red, and they're all basically modelled on different things. The black is modelled on the This Is Cool edition of the Saturn, and the red one's modelled on the Resident Evil, I think it is. Is that the right one? And they're 60 quid, and they've got the Sega logo on and everything, and they even come with a metal badge if you want to put it on or use your own. Like it's really nice, and it should come. It's and what he's done, the guy who's modded it also is added because I'm going for the black. He's added the LED to the power light and the ports, but they're RGB and controlled with your phone. So with the black case, you can go, well, I'll have blue today, or I'll have red tomorrow and pink, and it'll always match with black. And the limits, it's limitless. If you get a clear one, you can have the whole case light up if you're into that. But like having just the subtle LEDs on the front, and that's pretty smart. So I was like, yeah, I'll have that.
Would that interfere with any of the signals?
Don't think so. No, it's Bluetooth. So I don't think.
In my game at one point, I was getting like interference, but
I've got so much in here with Bluetooth.
How do you deal with it? Because I say that does sound pretty cool. To be fair, sounds really good.
Yeah, he sold quite a few. I think it's called SLR Mod Shop on eBay. But we just got chatting on Twitter, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do your swap because I want an N64 and I can't be bothered to mod one." And I was like, "Fair enough." So it weren't too bad. So I'm happy with that anyway.
Yeah, I would be definitely.
I'm just going to go to comments because we've neglected the comments for a while. So we've obviously got one of Kev's fans here. Edward Jackson says, "Hi, Kevin."
Hello, Edward. Sorry, I'm choking.
We've got Sean Horatio Van Basten in. Evening, fellas. Legend, Sean is. Absolute legend. We got Scott Calderwood saying evening. Hello, Scott. Craig says, slagging off Strictly. He's unsubbing Kev.
I didn't slag it off. It's just like it's not my cup of tea. I mean, I'm fat. I mean, dancing, do the robot for 5 seconds, and I'm already in a coma.
Yeah, not my cup of tea either. Scott's saying he does volunteering once a week and he sees some really good deals. I assume he means at a charity shop. Yeah,
it's a good way. Like, there's a lady who works in one of ours, and she gets everything. She got the LCD game of Caveman.
Oh yeah,
you know that one. Box to complete, perfect condition for $5. They charged her. So, and I was like, yeah, that's great. And I'm like smiling, like, yeah,
you should marry her. Problem solved.
She scares me.
Yeah. Craig again. Big up the Hit Squad crew. Scott, any tasty pickups?
Oh, there's a few. There'll be a video real soon.
I was going to say that'd be spoilers, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's not giving anything away.
No.
I'm loving the Hit Squad. The Hit Squad's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Kieran says he's doing a booter tomorrow, but he's taking some to sell tomorrow. He says he has a lot of stuff he doesn't need, which
he did the same thing. He literally, we would chat all the time on Xbox and stuff, and he was just like, "I've got so much stuff," and I'm like, "If you're not using it, just sell it." Like, and he had to the point where his garage was full, and his room. So it was like, "What are you going to do?" And he's made some money back and gets stuff he wants now. So he's been getting things like Tumby and things like that. You know, £100 game or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, games he wants instead of just filler.
I think when you watch Rich King Retro, he seems to just have a mountain of stuff behind him. I mean, he just seems to have like absolute stacks of stuff.
And it's like every room, like the lounge, the bathroom, like literally every room has games in. Do you know what I mean?
It's not just board games as well, isn't it? With
Yeah. I got into board games.
Have games everywhere. I've got this one room. And
you wish you could
anything anywhere else.
I like that though. I like having like when people look around my house, they don't see anything, but then they go into my games room and they're like, "Fucking hell, you're mental."
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's great. Like when the missus has her girlfriends over and they're like, "Oh, really nice house." Oh, and they go in there and they're like, "Fucking hell." Brilliant. But yeah, but mentioning board games, one of my mates, we went to this wedding the other week, and one of my missus' mates, her other half, her husband, is like well into board games, and we played some board games, and I'm like, oh my god, that's just got me into board games. So I bought 2 board games last week. But yeah, like that. I think I'm going to get into board games, but I don't want to buy loads and have another collection. Do you know what I mean? So I just bought 2, and I'm like, I'll just stick with 2. But now he keeps sending me like Kickstarter things, like check out this board game, and I'm like, get off me! And, do you know what I mean? I can't be spending all this money. But I'm going to some board game night this Friday coming with him and his mates, so I'm quite looking forward to that. It's like, you know, it's like proper geeky stuff, but that's what we all are, I suppose.
Yeah.
Chat has been very quiet.
It has.
Yeah, really quiet.
We got another Kevin in. Some Kevin on Kevin love here.
Oh,
love your videos.
Thank you very much, fellow Kevin. Can't speak, Kevin. I've had my meds. That's what it is.
Sean saying that he agrees that the N64 has aged terribly. He got rid of his whole collection apart from Sin and Punishment. That's one of the games I still really like on this system.
That's one of the only games on the system I've never played. I've never played Sin and Punishment.
I don't think I've played it. Did they do a sequel on the
Wii?
Yeah, I played that one.
I don't think it come out in the UK though, did it?
No, it's Japanese only. Yeah,
I'm sure I played that one. I didn't play the first
treasure
one.
game, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And we got Patch, the retro gamer, says, "Hi guys, hello Patch."
Hello.
And Kieran saying bargains take over. I'm sure they do, Kieran. I'm sure they do.
He finds a lot of good stuff. Like every time he goes, it's like, oh, I haven't found nothing, and it's like, bam, bag full of stuff, hundreds and hundreds worth of like 50p each.
Jesus.
Well, we got Lee Harding, guys looking to get into game collecting. Best place to start, eBay or boot sales.
Boot sales.
The boot sales.
Yeah, not eBay. Not eBay. Never eBay.
Boot sales, and then trade that stuff in for stuff you want in CEX. That's the best way.
Yeah, or even just a cash.
Or just cash, and just buy stuff. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think if he's talking about like buying stuff on eBay, especially if you're UK-based, Lee, that all the Facebook groups that we're on, and some of us run, like Retro Realm or like Galaxy Sega, and the groups like that are a really good place to buy, I think, and everyone's pretty trusted, aren't they? I don't know if any of us have had a bad experience on there, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, I've never had a bad experience.
And really, if you're starting out for the first time, it goes back to what we talked about. Stay focused. You know, try and stick to one system, your favourite one.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't fall in the trap of collecting. Fall in the trap of buying the games you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
Do some research as well.
Isn't it? Really?
You need to research, because the problem is you'll go to the car boot and you'll go, that game looks interesting, and you'll be like, oh, it's 50p, and you get home and it's crap. But if you can do a little bit of research to look at, you know, obviously there's always them videos saying top 10 games and stuff like that, and then you look for the stuff that's, you know, a bit more unknown. But if you're going up just picking stuff up for the sake of it, you will end up guaranteed at the car boot. You could go with 50 quid and come back with 600 games. Like you could have piles of piles. There's people that say like 5p a game, 10p a game, and you just get so much junk. So go, purely for the stuff you want.
Do you have to be quite aggressive at the boot there, Kev?
Yeah.
Mine's all right. I did go to once before where there was a lot of like obviously resellers and stuff doing their own stuff, buying they don't collect, so they just buy and sell.
Yeah.
And then they're ruthless. They will go in your boot and they will shred your stuff, leave it all over the floor, and walk off. I've had it where I'm choosing games off a map, and a guy's just walked through the people's stuff, like all their stuff, just picks the games up and then just gives them the money and walks off. Like they'll take it out of your hands.
I had a load of that this morning at this one I go to.
Yeah.
And this guy just walked straight over this guy's mat of stuff, and he was like kicking
so
off.
Rude.
And the guy's just walking off like oblivious. And this other guy was at a stall, right? So I'm at the stall, and I'm like right up to the stall, so there's no room in front of me. And the guy's next to me, and he doesn't want to like look at the stuff I'm at. He wants to walk away. So he could just walk away, but he decides, no, I'm going to walk away by pushing through in front of you. And I go, what the fuck? Can you not just walk around there? And he goes, what? I say, you fucking twat. And I just started kicking off, which is probably a little bit early in the morning or whatever. But yeah, it's just, they're like animals. And like Kev says, they go in the boot of these poor people, and they're like, like with like meat hanging out their fucking mouths. And I just like think I'd rather hang back. I don't want to. I don't want to be involved with this. You know?
I'm always nice and polite, and I just say to people, excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, it's early. Have you got any of these games or Xbox games? And they'll be either say, yes, I have, and they'll get them out, or they'll say, can you just wait 5 minutes and I'll get them out for you? And then you get the other people notice it, and they will, like you said, go in the boot and go through it. And then the people are like, excuse me, what are you doing? And it's intimidating, I think, especially 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, especially.
Yeah,
it's not exactly what you want.
That's the worst time to go, ain't it? That's that 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. That's when you get the people who know what they want, and it isn't just games; it's LPs.
It's anything. Lego.
Designer, Lego. Nerf guns is big as well. Jewelry, and they're just fucking vultures. But after 7, that's when you get the normal public come along. But you do have to be ruthless. You have to be efficient as well, and you have to be, if you haven't got nothing by 7 o'clock, you might as well go home because it'll all be gone.
Well, actually,
you can find stuff.
You can. Yeah,
I found a Game & Watch once. I got to a boot sale so late, and I didn't charge my camera, and I got there so late. I was just like, this is pointless. But I got there. First thought I come up to Game & Watch chef, like mint in box. So how much do you want for that? It's like £1. I was like, no one obviously seen it. It's just sitting on the table. I was like, brilliant. So it does happen, but like digging in boxes as well. You don't want to be digging in the moment you get there. You want to be, see the games, nothing, keep moving on till you find what you want, and then once you've finished it, then start digging through the boxes. I see
some guys scanning barcodes.
Oh yeah, that's rude.
CEX app.
Really? People that do that.
Yeah, I'm like, mate, if you don't know the prices, boom, within 10 seconds of looking at something, you're in the wrong game, son.
Yeah.
It happens a lot, and they're doing it in front of them, scanning it, and you're just like, how can you do that? That's so rude.
Yeah.
I think my one, right? I've got a little strategy at my one, right? So I go at like between 6 and 6:30 because you have to get there at that time. Otherwise, you just see people leaving with stuff. If you get there at 7 o'clock, you're too late. Do you know what I mean? So I go there early, but I don't want to be like super aggressive. So I just wander around. If I can get stuff, I can. But then I'll stay until like between 8 and 9. So a lot of people come later, and they're more chill, and you do find stuff a bit later on as well. Because I find some people who aren't so like serious, and they're always not this resellers either. They're just people who are like, I wanted to lie in, and we're getting rid of some stuff, and they'll send you stuff really cheap,
Yeah,
that's how I got the NES, because I finished the boot sale. It was a miserable day. Sorry, the dog's sleep barking. I got round the car boot, and she's like, "There's one more car just coming," and we go home. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. It's nothing. One of them days, miserable days. You got up early, you didn't find anything." And she's like, "Go on, do it." And I was like, "Yeah, go for it." I walked over there, and I just clocked a NES cart just out the corner of a box, and I just went straight over. "Excuse me," and the woman's like, I said, "How much?" 20 quid the box, and it was like 20 games, Zappa, Super Nintendo adapter, like everything all bundled in this box. And I was like, "Yep, pay it." I was loading up the bag quick as I can in case anyone else comes over and goes, "I'll give you more." And this guy's like, "Did you just buy that?" "Yep, it's gone." I was like, "Yeah, get out of there," carrying this massive bag out, and that was it.
Well, it's like my Master System in my latest video. When
that's quality, that
I went up to the guy and I said, "Have you got any old games?" And he was having an hour in for a few seconds. And he was like, "I've got an old Master System." And
you're like
I said, I was just expecting, a Master System 2 in a kind of rat's nest of cables, and he pulls it out, and he pulls out this boxed Master System 1. I'm like, fucking hell. And he's like, "How much?" £10. Boom, I'm out. And I'm walking back to the car, and there's these two other lizards, and the thing is, they're all working in network with each other. And the guy goes, my mates just text me saying some geezer just bought a Mars system, and I'm literally walking past as they're saying that, and I sort of look thinking, yeah, that was me, mate, that was me. And
you're like this.
Yeah, I literally was, and they were like, fuck. But honestly, it was like a drug, the rush that goes through your head. You're like, Jesus, I can't believe I've got this. I mean, it is beautiful as well.
Oh, it's nice, yeah. Even the baggies and everything.
Yeah, it is stunning condition. And I was on cloud 9, and it's such a rush getting those sort of things. But that's
Retro Chef. You know Retro Chef?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he found a multi-mega for 30 quid at the car, didn't he?
Yeah,
I was just like, no, I've always wanted one. That's what got me mine from CEX. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to find one. No. And I was just like, I'll get it from CEX. And I just did it with trades. And it cost me basically like 30 quid in trades from like Mario Karts. At the time, Wii remotes were like £14 each. It was mental. And I just took in loads of Wii remotes and controllers I didn't need. And I was just like, there you go, 30 quid's worth. And that was it. The guy was shocked when he gave me the voucher. You were the same one, were you?
Retro Chef, I know what boot sale he goes to. I was winding him up in Messenger. I ended up going to that boot sale. It's a brilliant car boot, that is.
Oh, nice.
That's where I got this guy from.
I saw one of those. I saw one of mine recently. I think he wanted 30 quid for it, but it was really yellowed. It was really yellowed.
I paid 30 quid for this one. And it's a really good boot sale because there's not many traders there. It is all genuine car booters.
Yeah.
Really Scott, is that Dunton's?
No, it's Boreham.
Oh, that's not far from me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really.
That's quite a mission for you, though, ain't it? Though,
so everyone's going to be. That would took about an hour and a bit to get there.
Jesus Christ,
that's a trek. Yeah.
Because you're what? You're East Anglia, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm Suffolk.
Yeah. So that's a mission for you.
Yeah, no, it weren't an easy. We was up at the crack of dawn, but someone else had told me it was a great boot sale, and I found out that's where he was going. So I was winding him up, saying, "Yeah, I'm going down your neck of the woods."
Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Lee because he hasn't done any videos for quite some time, so he needs to get back on.
I think he's on his car scene at the moment, isn't he? He's into his
Golf
ST in it.
Yeah. He needs to get his arse in gear though. He ain't done nothing for.
Lovely. Lee's such a fucking great guy, man. Love him.
Yeah, he's such a character, ain't he?
Yeah.
He's like a Del boy, ain't he? He's like he's just like an Essex wide boy, ain't he? He's just Essex wide boy.
Love it. Right. So let's go to the first of the topics, which is quite impressive. After an hour, we haven't actually looked at these, and I'm gonna set you guys off, and I'm gonna make it myself a drink. So, what do you reckon? Shall we go to? We can do like these in one. So, two new Mega Drive / Mega CD products on the market. So, first one being the mini Mega Drive thingy. Is that even out yet?
Yeah, in America.
October the 4th, is it?
The what?
I think October the 4th in the UK.
Yeah, October 4th.
So mini Mega Drive thing coming out, and then we have the Mega SD, which is super exciting, although maybe rather pricey. But
yeah.
Any thoughts on those?
Well, who's getting either of them first? I suppose.
I'm not gonna.
I've ordered the Mega Drive Mini, but I might cancel it. I don't know yet.
I'm just going for the Mega Drive Mini because it's Sega, basically, and they're involved.
Yeah.
So I've got to get it. And I think the lineup of games is the best lineup of games on a mini console so far. I really do.
Yeah.
Will you play it, Scott? Will you play it?
Pardon?
Do you reckon you'll play it?
I'll probably give it a go, but it will probably sit in a box on the shelf, to be fair.
Yeah. See, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Is it will sit on a shelf. But do you reckon it'll come down in price?
No.
You don't think it will?
I reckon it might. It depends on the sales.
Yeah, I think it will. I think
a
it
little,
will.
but I don't think it's going to go like the
Not like the PS1.
the PS1. It's not
Yeah.
going to go like that.
No,
I think it'll be somewhere between the PS1 to the Nintendo. I think Nintendo do stock shortages for, building up.
how much is it, mate? It's about £80, isn't it? £80.
89?
$69.99, I think.
Yeah.
Was it
Oh,
not?
wow.
Or is it the Japanese one that's 89? I can't remember. Because everyone was on about, like, obviously you get the 6-button pads with the Jap one, and then
Yeah.
our ones, we got the 3, which I'd rather have the 6, if I'm honest. And people are like, oh, I know it's another kettle of fish, but like the retro bit controllers, and they're like, I'll get them and that. But if you guys are die hard and into your Mega Drive, like that pad, I think it's crap.
Thing is, though, I mean, the only games are, Eternal Champions is not great, but Street Fighter, there's so many better ways to play Street Fighter than the Mega Drive version these days, isn't there? So I could live with the 3 button easy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see why they've released the 3 button, to be fair, because that's what,
That was our staple, wasn't it?
That's the original pad. And like what you said, you can get the retro bit or button pads to go with it. And I've heard that Sega are releasing the 6-button pads separately.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Interesting.
But I think as well, I mean, I've got the PS1, the NES and the SNES, and they just sit on my PS4. I don't use them. And I think that's the same with... Yeah, I think that's the same with all the mini consoles. I don't use them. They're fun to hook up.
The Neo Geo Mini, and the PS1 Mini, and the C64 Mini, and I don't play any of them.
Yeah.
Terrible, really.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're designed for us, though. They're designed for a different market. They're designed for someone who's, a dad in his 30s.
Yeah.
Mum is thinking, what? He used to have a Mega Drive when he was a kid. I'll get him that. And that's the market.
100%.
That's how I've got mine, really. People know I'm into retro and they buy them for me as presents. I think the only one I bought myself was the Neo Geo Mini.
Yeah.
All the others were presents and things like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
with
what
go on.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, with the NES Mini, when they brought that out, being a NES guy, I was like, I can't wait to get it. And then I'm like, am I going to play it? And then I played it, and the input lag on it, and I don't matter what anyone says, there's input lag, and you feel it. And I was like, so I started adding games to it. I was playing Batman and missing jumps, and playing Mega Man and missing jumps, and I'm like, right, let me fire mine up. And I've got the high def modded top loaders, and I was playing fine. And then they brought the SNES out, which is a bit more forgiving because the pixel perfect jumps sort of like faded out. They didn't make it as more like, NES. It was like everything was perfect. If that gap was that wide, you had to make it. And then they moved on. So with the Mega Drive, I've got the multi-mega, and I decided to make that the best it could be. So I went with the RGB bypass. I've got a full recap, the battery replacement. I've got the region switching with a control buttons combo, basically everything. And because that looks so crisp through the OSSC, and it's the real hardware, like the Mini wouldn't get a look in, because I've got like an EverDrive. So if I want to play the games, I can play them perfectly on there. So
I think as well with certainly with the Mega Drive Mini, those games have been tweaked for the whatever hardware setup is in the Mega Drive Mini by M2. If you're just gonna jailbreak it or whatever you want to call it, and then stick every single Tom, Dick and Harry ROM from the internet, it's not going to run. Those games have been done by M2 to sing as best as they could on that hardware.
There is glitches though. It has got like issues. I mean, I saw a video and someone was saying like the Chaos Emerald like flashing at the end, and, like glitching out and flickering and stuff. And so there is issues in there with emulation. But like, it happens with everything with emulation. It's never 100%, is it? It's always something that will be off, where it's the audio or it's never exact.
No.
So I probably wouldn't bother.
No.
It's I hope they do because it allows people that haven't got the money or the time to go to boot sales and flip things to actually play these games. That's what's important for me. I just want to be able to go out there and play like Castlevania. That they're going to get the opportunity to play these games on a Sega system because at the end of the day, it's the first hardware Sega have done in 20 years. So
exactly.
I think that will do pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah, and like you say, it's not like aimed at people like us. It's someone who's like, oh yeah, I used to have a Mega Drive like 20, 30 years ago. Oh yeah, I'll get that. Or the missus gets it in for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, exactly. But there's definitely a market for them, and I'm glad that they're there. It keeps retro in the mainstream, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about this?
They've definitely gone the right way about it this time with Sega, because Sony went the complete wrong way about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they didn't care. That was
So
money for them.
far.
That was all it was. That was just pure cash.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because the PS1 is such a fantastic machine.
Yeah.
They really screwed that up.
Even when you flash the SNES Mini and then run PS1 on it, it ran better than it ran on the PS1 Mini, and that's a kick in the face there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about the Mega SD, was it?
Yeah. What does everyone think of that? I mean, that's
wow, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
The price is a bit crazy on it, to be fair.
I mean, I'd like to get one that just replaced my EverDrive, but then I think because I got a Mega CD, I think
you can't use it.
we were talking about this, Steve, weren't we? That if you don't have a Mega CD, it's probably well worth getting.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Because you can't use them together. If they're connected, you can't use them.
No.
If you plug it in, it'll just all go glitchy and stuff. It doesn't work.
That's
And if you've got a multi-mega and plug it in, it won't work at all. There's nothing you can do without literally ripping the boards apart to get it to boot. So it's limited to the actual console if you want to play like 32X and then Mega CD.
I saw Sega Lord X's video on it. It looked quite complicated for what it was as well.
Has he got one? Has he?
Yeah. That's a brilliant channel as well. Really good channel.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah, that's a channel that's growing pretty quick, isn't it?
Yeah. I subbed to him when he was on like 500.
What's he on now?
36,000, I
I
think.
was going to say
Wow.
30, 40,000.
Jesus.
But he's really good. He's really informative, and there's none. There's with some of the big American tubers, it's all money, and you don't ever get that with him.
He's genuine, isn't he? I think he's a real genuine guy, and he really loves his Sega.
Yeah.
Really comes across.
So it doesn't look like many people are going to buy either of those then, apart from Scott's going to buy the...
I'm probably going to buy that Mega SD, I think.
Of course you are, Steve.
I don't know, I just think, how much is the X7 now? The EverDrive X7, which is supposed
it's like 100 and something,
like
120,
150,
something like that.
Like 140 maybe. It's quite a lot.
I don't know, there's that Mega SD. I don't know if you saw anything about those Mega Drive Plus games where they've jigged around
Added the audio.
Yeah.
Same as the SD2 SNES, you could add your own audio, and it was incredible. Playing like Mega Man with like proper metal tracks on it is really good. Yeah. So it's a cool feature. I mean, it is good.
But maybe I don't know if it's worth the price or not. But as Pete was saying, as we were talking about earlier, about if you've got the Mega CD, do you really need it? But I think I'm definitely going to invest.
So have you guys all kitted out your systems? Because obviously I've seen each of like videos, and you've got like these in your attic and stuff all sitting there. Do you get them like I do and then go, right, this is having a full recap, this is having the batteries replaced, this is having everything, or do you just go, no, I'll leave it as it is? Because I worry like the leakage on Sega, like for me is like I risk it, especially on the multi-mega, like they're not cheap.
Yeah. That's different.
I had my multi-mega all service. I had a multi-mega and it was faulty, and a great guy on Galaxy Sega had that all done for me. All new laser, everything's done.
Yeah.
So my multi-mega I've had all done.
Nice.
But, the other systems, they seem to be pretty robust, to be fair.
Yeah. Did you get the RGB bypass?
No, that's my next.
Because that's the main thing that made me like. I got it from CEX and I plugged it in, and it was just like this static all in the image, and I was like, "What's this about?" It's static non-stop all through the image, and I looked it up and I was like, "Can't find anything. Maybe it's a power supply dodgy or whatever." And apparently it's something to do with the multi-megas, the way they run the CPU and stuff, and so close to each other, it causes static. And so the RGB bypass makes it crystal clear, like immaculate, no jail bars, nothing. Like that's a massive mod, I think, if you're into the Sega community
I think I'm
elite
definitely going to
stuff.
go down that route. It looks different. I've got 3 TVs that I use, and it looks better on my B&O.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other 2 TVs, you can notice some interference going on there.
Yeah.
So it's probably something I will get done.
The only one I've done is my Game Gear, which is
my
original one. But I got mine done by Marco, who is McWill. And if you know who he is, he's the one who does. He's got custom built LCD screens. He's actually got my Game Gear at the moment because it developed a fault. But I wanted to because I thought it's my original system. I want to kind of almost preserve it. So that's completely recapped. It's got VGA input. It's obviously done the screen. It's got a new sort of bezel on it as well. So it looks amazing. But because Game Gears are next to redundant now. You can't use them. The screens are so badly damaged. With time.
They were more back in the day, though, weren't they? Really?
Yeah.
The quality
they were.
Sega used in the components and the screen was never great.
Yeah.
No. Unless you do get them modified, they do look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think even when people recap them and then refresh the screens, it's still not. It's not great.
It's so blurry.
It's
so blurry when you're moving. You're just like
that
McWill's mod is absolutely fantastic. It just
it's like you turn it to HD. It's so crisp.
It's
absolutely when you see it, your eyes. When you see it, your eyes bleed. They're like it's like wow.
First time I saw that mod, because I know they do them on other systems, but years ago, my mate just over the road here actually, who funnily enough, I used to live next door to him about 10 years ago, and I never knew that he was into Sega, and he didn't know I was, because we just lived next door to each other. You don't go, all right, mate, oh, by the way, you're into Sega. So we lived next door to each other for years, and then we didn't see each other for like 3 years. And I bought something off eBay, and I said, oh, you're local, I'll come collect it. I went to collect it, and it was him. And I was like, oh, shit, you're my neighbour. And he's like, I didn't know you were into Sega stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man, fucking big time and all this. And then we just started chatting, and we became friends sort of thing. But he had the Nomad with the McWill mod, right?
Yeah.
But he had another normal Nomad at the time. And so I could see them both side by side, and it was like, fuck, it's so good. It's ridiculous.
Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the Nomad, is that an actual McWill's screen? I believe you can use a different screen. Obviously, the McWill's mod is very expensive, isn't it? The screen.
Yeah.
But I believe you've got other options with the Nomad. I don't think you have to use.
I think I paid $150 for my one.
Yeah.
I believe the Nomad one is like half the price. There's a cheaper alternative.
Yeah, I think Marco does Atari Lynx and Game Gear only. So.
Yeah.
Is he tapping into Neo Geo as well? Was that him? The Pocket Color? I'm sure there's one coming out, and I'm sure he was on it because there was the Game Boy one, wasn't there? And
I thought that was someone else. Maybe
was it someone else? I know there was a Game Boy. Yeah. Like there's loads of variants for the Game Boy for now. For like.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does do a Game Boy one now.
Yeah.
But the Pocket Color will be good. I've got.
Yeah, because that's like no one's touched it. I mean, the library isn't exactly.
I mean, talking about bad screens, like they really fucked up on that. It's terrible.
It's in the correct light. It is crystal clear though. It's so sharp.
The correct light is like really hard to get.
Yeah,
I was going to say it's impossible to get the correct light half the time.
It is.
And I love that system. Fantastic machine.
Do you
got a high def mod for it as well.
With the, do you guys know what happened with the Nomad that was supposed to be releasing? Because I sold my Nomad at the beginning of the year because there's rumours that there was a new one coming out. Sega had given the rights to.
Was that Retro bit?
Retro 8-bit, I think.
But it's all gone quiet, and I'm gutted.
But I think it was similar to when they announced the new Saturn and Mega Drive, they also announced the Dreamcast pads as well, didn't they? And that's gone all quiet. And I heard that they were having issues with the VMU tech.
Right.
It's all been put back. Everything. Even when I was after the Mega Drive pads, they were like, "Oh, they're out now," and it's like, "No, 3 more months." Then 3 more months.
Yeah.
And the pre-order just kept going back and back. And then I finally got that pad in my hand, and I was just like, "I wish I didn't bother." Like, it's an okay pad if you don't know what a 6-button pad feels like. But when you feel it, you could press all 4 buttons at once by pressing down on the D-pad, which is an instant no. Like that's
what?
And Yeah, it's not good. So instead of going, you see, like you're trying to do Hadoukens and stuff, and it's like it's just not. And everyone's like, you watch all these massive YouTube celebrities, and they're all like, "Oh, it's the best pad ever." It's exactly the same. It's not. I've even taken it apart and tried to swap parts and stuff. It doesn't. It's not interchangeable. But then obviously I want the Saturn pad, and then I heard like there was the issues with the pads breaking completely. The D-pad would just snap off. Like there's so many issues, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, wanting more. If that makes sense, I'm a bit wary now.
So you should.
The originals are so well made, though, ain't they?
So now you've blown up a bit, Kev. You can not start asking for that stuff for free to review.
Is that what you can do? I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, mate. You just message them going, "Can I have this?"
Send me some 8-bit no. I love 8-bit no
for
controllers. Man, I love them. I've got all of them. So they're doing a Saturn one, aren't they? And a Dogbone Nintendo one. So I'll be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah,
get like 300 views.
Yeah, well, it's worth trying it.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Can I? Something's popped into my head. Who's ordered Paprium?
Funnily enough, right? Let me just say that it was who suggested this to me. Scott. Scott said, "Put this on the list of topics," and I said, "Nah, I don't want to set Sega Saturn off." I said, "I ain't putting it on."
Rankers.
Do we think that game is ever going to come out?
That money's gone. I reckon that money's gone.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have a feeling that game is going to surface, but it's not going to be anywhere near.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like a real letdown.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like Streets of Rage with a reskin.
Do you know what? If I get that,
that's all they'll do.
Be that good.
Yeah. If I get my arcade stick and no game, I'll be happy because I've got like 200 quid invested in this.
I was going to say, weren't they like about 150 quid or something? Just
I think it was like 140, 150 for the stick, and then it was like 60 quid for the game.
Yeah.
But if I get the stick, I'll be chuffed because it's really hard to get like a good Mega Drive stick.
Yeah.
So if I get that, I'll be happy, And I don't know what to think about these images of like the production process that they put up. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what to think of that.
I think it's a load of bollocks, to be fair.
Yeah, probably. But we'll just wait and see in it. I mean, I've got games that I've ordered way before that. I mean, does anyone know when the order date was for Paprium or Project Y?
It was October 2017.
Okay, so I've got Dreamcast game that I paid for in 2014.
No, sorry, March 17th.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got stuff that's like 2.5, 3 years extra on that I'm still waiting on, and I've not written off. So
didn't they try and get back to Paprium way before then, though? Before 2017, wasn't it?
I think they because I don't know if you know how the Waterman site worked. It was like weird. You could buy gems or like you get gems, and they were letting like the people invest gems into it early. But I think you couldn't actually buy it as in pre-order it until that date. So it was a kind of weird thing.
I think the issue is that while you're saying that you've got XYZ ordered, I think that's fine. You've gone into it with your eyes open thinking that's a pre-order. I think when Paprium come around, that was almost advertised that the game was complete and you were going to be getting a copy of it. They sold it as in like, an advertisement to the game coming out.
You're totally right, actually, because the stuff I'm saying, I've got stuff that's older, but they were Kickstarters, and when you do a Kickstarter, you know that you could lose that money. The Paprium was a pre-order. It was no investment. It was like, I'm ordering the game. I'm paying for the game.
And I think this is why people are going so apeshit over it, because it's just complete lies and complete fabrication of the retro community. He's completely pulled the pants and shafted the retro community, or people who have ordered that game have been completely done over.
That trailer and everything, there was a considerable amount of money spent on the trailer, and it looked really professional, and a lot of people would have never have dreamed of backing Kickstarter projects bought into that, and I'm with you on that.
Because I put 130 quid down
anywhere near done.
I put 130 quid down on the European and the Japanese versions of it.
Oh, blimey.
And yeah, and you know, it's just, I don't know, it just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. And you know, and you and to then be told by this guy, what, Fonzie or whatever his name is,
Fonzie,
you know, he'll put a post up saying, you know, the people that know what's been going on, they're the ones, you know. It's like, fuck off, mate. You know, we're your customers, and you treat everyone like a piece of shit. You know, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
He's not a people person, is he?
He's a thief, basically. He's just a thief.
Yeah,
absolute thief, mate.
And it's alarming how the whole company has just fell apart, and everyone that was close to the guy, even though they're not really coming out too much in public about it, they're distancing themselves from him and the whole of the Watermelon Games. You know, it's worrying.
They're onto other things. They're just like, now it's just Fonzie. I don't see how he could get it finished.
No.
And what was he hoping to achieve with that video of the, you know, the Chinese girl, you know, putting these perspex sheets on an arcade stick? What was he hoping to achieve with that? It means he's hoping to. I mean, what, are you telling me that you're making arcade sticks? What, that doesn't give you any kind of inclination of how the progress of the game is coming. You know, people demanding refunds, they're not getting their money back. You know, it's just.
Yeah, there was like zero info. It's like, here's a picture of some Taiwanese girl putting some sticks together, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it. See ya.
Yeah.
Talk to you in another 3 years.
Yeah. Do Steve and Kev, are you familiar with the game?
Just a little bit. I've seen stuff. I've seen people make videos on it, and you know, like you say, they say, oh, about the sticks, and they're like, oh, does that mean it's ready to go? Sort of like hinting that it's ready to go. Come on, guys, get excited, and then they're like, there's nothing.
Didn't they have some sort of premiere in France as well, or something? Was that?
Yeah, they had a party or something, didn't they? Or something.
Yeah.
I was going to go to that.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, but I was abroad somewhere, or something happened and I couldn't go. But or did it coincide with Blackpool? But I wanted to go just to take my camera and do a video and just say like proper like quiz people like what the fuck is going on, you know? Like reasonably aggressive.
There was no planning for that though. Weren't it like about a week? Everyone got an email like a week.
It wasn't even a week. It was like 3 days, and I was like, fuck, I would do this if I wasn't doing this other thing.
But the party was just one CRT with a Mega Drive and a chipboard with a load of wires hanging out, and it crashed while they were doing it. There was no, you know, it wasn't like a, you know, rows of CRTs and Mega Drives. It was just one TV with a PAL Mega Drive, and you know, with some board in its arcade slot. In its cartridge slot, and it's like. And then it crashed with them getting it to run, and then they could only get the intro to run, and then they had like the big guy, the main guy, and the just scrolling through the level. There was no enemies on screen, and you know, I think in the text is like all, you know, flashing numbers. So it's just it's just a mess.
Shocking. Yeah, I mean, I want to believe that we'll see it, but I'm not hopeful really. But I mean. It's just, what can you do? Just wait and see. There's nothing we can do. So,
let's just hope these new games that are coming out shortly are going to restore people's faith in sort of like modern games coming out from the system.
Hey, so let's yes, exactly, Scott. Let's bring this upbeat a bit. So, upcoming games that we actually think will be released that we're excited for. So, we've got Xenocrisis, exactly. Looks sick. Oh my god!
Really good. Yeah, like that.
And they've been doing regular updates. The footage looks fucking wicked. Music's wicked. It looks amazing.
I haven't pre-ordered that yet.
You fool!
I'm not. I need to. I keep seeing videos on. I think I've got to get this.
Mate, you've got to get that.
When's it coming out?
I don't think have they done official yet, Steve?
Nothing official yet. Because I mean, I believe it was supposed to be coming out this year, but it's not going to happen. But when I backed it, there wasn't. They're bringing it out for so many things now, like the Dreamcast and Neo Geo, and they've just done so much merchandise with it as well, and I think that's what's sort of holding it back. But I think the game is nearly done now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
The soundtrack on that.
Yeah, soundtrack's amazing. Didn't they do a vinyl option or something?
Done a vinyl with it, yeah. I believe I backed for that as well. But again, that came later. I don't think I backed it straight away because it wasn't there. But then that came later. They just keep adding more stuff to it. It looks really cool. I'm looking forward to that one. Because it's I think it's a guy, one of the developers used to work for Bitmap Brothers.
Oh, come on.
I believe. So, yeah, it sounds like a nice guy. But I think he was quite poorly earlier in the year. And I think that's what put it back as well.
But at least he has experience with releasing an official game, how the industry works, how you treat your customers and everything.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Definitely. No,
I think I said it before, but why sorry, the name, I'm not sure the guy's name, but the fella did Tanglewood. You know, he was a one-man army. Yeah. And he was very, he's very sort of ingrained with sort of Galaxy Sega and talking to the fans, isn't he? And this is one guy by himself, and he's managed to get this game out.
I was well chuffed that we got that Galaxy Sega ad in the manual.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, to see that in a Mega Drive manual was like, wow. Yeah. Like, seeing my name in a Mega Drive manual, not that game, but other games, like seeing my name in a Mega Drive manual, that is nuts, you know? Yeah. Like, when you think back to when you were a kid, it's like, fucking hell. And I tell my mates, I'm like super excited, and they're like, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, nice.
That's the cool thing about this hobby, you know, because like if I say to you, like, oh, my name's in a Mega Drive manual, you're like, nice. But if I tell my mates, they're like, yeah. You know,
well, I backed that Xeno Crisis. I backed it for my name to be one of the hostages.
Oh, wicked! I know Rich Pemberton did that as well, and he's in the trailer.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, he's actually in the trailer as a hostage.
So geeky, but I love it. Absolutely love it.
That's sick. Was that really pricey, or was that like reasonable?
No, I don't think it was that much.
I should have done that. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's fucking brilliant.
Should have done on a retro tip as a hostage. And say I want to. It should like you pay a little bit extra and say I want to be the hostage that gets raped.
I think it's with Shenmue. If you were a high-end backer of that, you would have been some of the NPCs, weren't you, or something of that like.
Yeah, and you could be the toys, the little, the collectible Gashapon toys. You could be like Ben Shamuso. He's done that, so he's going to be one of the little toys. Yeah,
I do get the impression as well. I'm not saying Shenmue 3 is anything like Paprium, but when Shenmue 3 first come out, it was almost kind of. I don't think people were duped a little bit, but you did kind of get the impression that you had to be a backer to get a physical version of the game. Yes. And now it's sort of been published by Limited Run Games. It's been published by Deep Silver. It's like you don't need to. I don't feel as though you needed to back it anyway. Did you?
But these things do change like as the project develops. I mean, that is a risk, and it is a bit cheeky, but like you can see why they do it. If they can do it, why not do it? That kind of happened with that Toe Jam and Earl game. I got burnt a bit. So I backed it because they said the only way to get a physical copy is to back this. So I backed it. And then they said, oh, we're only doing physical on PC. And I'm like, I don't play PC games, but I want a box. So I backed to get the game. And then I had to pay $40 to get just a PC big box, right?
Yeah.
So I paid for that. And then they're like, oh, we're actually doing, we're going to put it on PS4 and all this, but digitally. So for my backing, I got a PC big box thing, and then I got a PS4 digital code because I chose PS4. And then, like a year later, they're like, oh, we're doing physicals, so like PS4 and Switch and everything. So I bought a Switch one from Limited Run, right? So then I ended up with, they sent me a PS4 code, they sent me a Switch code, a Steam code. Then there's a Steam code in my PC big box, and then I bought the Switch version. So I ended up with 4 fucking versions of this game. I haven't even opened the PC big box because I've got the Switch one, and now I'm like, I don't know what to do with the PC big box one. It's worthless, basically.
Yeah.
sat on the shelf. So that was kind of annoying. But then again, like if they can do it, they want to maximise like the sales.
They're going to maximise their money, aren't they?
Yeah. I must admit, I mean, I'm not. My attitude towards limited run has changed quite a lot in the last couple of years. I was a massive fan of limited run, and I picked up quite a few of their games when they were doing like the Vita and the PS2 stuff, proper digital only games that were getting a physical release. And now it's just the stuff that they're coming out with is just a joke. You know, they're re-releasing Star Wars on N64 with cartridges, and you know, Star Wars on NES, and then they're just, you know, doing these things which is just like so far from where they've come, and I'm just like, it's just bollocks now. But they're still, you know, and now they've gone into this kind of approach where it's like, I'll pre-order it and you'll still get a version. It's like, well, that's not what a limited run is it really? But I don't, and they used to limit people to 1 per copy. Now it's like 3 per copy. It's just feeding sort of like scalpers really, and I refuse to buy anything from them now.
I don't like supporting it really, just because of how it's all done, and it's not necessarily their fault, but still. And there's that Special Reserve games do similar thing.
Yeah.
Although I mean, who did the Toe Jam and Earl? Was it limited run?
Yeah.
But that was kind of a link, like if you were a backer on Kickstarter, you got a link where you were guaranteed to get one. Do you know what I mean? But what did I see that's coming out? It's that Downwell. Do you know that game Downwell?
Oh yeah.
And they're doing
it's on PS4, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they're doing a Switch one, right? And it's I think it was published by Devolver. I'm a massive fan of Devolver because Hotline Miami is like one of my favorite games of all time. And I got a thing from Special Reserve saying, "Oh, we're doing 5,000 copies of Downwell on the Switch," and like it's not something I'd buy. It's $30 or something, but they said they're giving a free flip grip with it for $30, and I'm like, oh shit, because I wanted to buy a flip grip, but like once you import it and pay the fees and everything, it's quite expensive. But to get one from them for $30, I'm like, fuck it, I'm probably going to order that. And they're also doing Hotline Miami Collection soon. For Switch, which I will definitely buy because I've got that on PS4, but it's still sealed because I've got them digital on PS4, but I just wanted a physical copy, and they only came out in Japan. The Hotline Miami Collection, like physical. So definitely get that for Switch. I love Hotline Miami. Did anyone order that Ultra Core?
Yes.
No.
That looks great. I mean, I fucked up and didn't order it, but then I changed my mind and I want one. But was that limited run?
Yes, there's only 1,000, I think.
Yeah, 999, I think.
That's it,
weirdly. But yeah, Michael Armand ordered 2, and he's selling me his one when it arrives. Thank God. Pretty much for what he paid for it. So I'm like, thank God, because I like really that looks great. That game. It's kind of like. It's like Turrican-y sort of game.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was 99% completed back in the day on the Mega Drive. And was that originally Psygnosis?
No, well, I don't know if Psygnosis were going to publish it, but it was developed by Digital Illusions, who obviously became DICE.
Yeah.
But they were very near to finishing it. And the people who are actually doing this Mega Drive version, and it's coming out on other formats like PS4 and everything, it's the former like head of DICE, the president of DICE or whatever, and a few of the team. So it's actually the original team working on finishing the game, which is really exciting. But if you guys look at it online, because it came with the Mega S, is it Mega SG?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah,
Included it. Yeah,
and it looks fucking wicked. It's actually in my Amiga video because it was cancelled on the Amiga.
Yeah,
it's actually in that video I just put up. But yeah, it looks amazing, man. The music's like really good, and the graphics look so Amiga, even though it's like a Mega Drive game.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
So many games did though, didn't it, with the Mega Drive and the Amiga? I think that's why I love the Mega Drive so much, because the games really relate really well on the Mega Drive compared to the Amiga. So yeah, I think it's going to be awesome, that Ultra Core.
Yeah.
How much was it new?
Oh,
How much was it to order?
45 euros.
Yeah, 45 euros.
I suppose it sold out in minutes, didn't it?
Yeah,
It did.
I missed it.
Literally, someone put a link on Galaxy Sega saying, if you don't miss this, guys, get on there. I jumped on it and literally sold out minutes later.
Yeah.
Really?
See, I ummed and ahed for like an hour, and then I was like, yeah, I'll get it, and then it's too late. So thankfully, Michael Arman's got a spare one, so he's saving my ass there. But so Scott's saying that the Amiga and the Mega Drive sort of were very relatable. It might be a nice segue into another topic on the list, which was our favourite. So let's combine two things. So I'm going to go to the comments before we start this. So it's favourite 16-bit games, or favourite, some 16-bit like lesser-known titles, or underrated titles that you are big fans of. But let's just go into the comments before we go on to that topic. So who we got? We got Old School is Cool in the house saying, hey, Kev, Patch and Kieran. Car Boot Crew in the house. We got Sega Mega Nerd 97 saying hello, which is interesting. Is that the year you were born, Sega Mega Nerd? Because that would be.
I think it is.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. With someone who's born in 97, I couldn't tell you what the fuck I was up to in 97. Yeah, some mad shit. Yeah.
Still at school.
Yeah, well, I was still at school. Yeah, I was in last year doing my GCSEs that year, so I was 16. But yeah, I always find it interesting with people that age are into like retro stuff. It's good to see.
He's into like VHSs and everything. Like,
wow.
I have no idea. Like, I'm in 4K, and he's like, "Oh, I love VHS." I'm like, "What?"
That's awesome, man. You're laughing at the car boot if you into VHS because they're just giving them away.
Yeah.
There is a market for them, though, ain't there?
Yeah,
there's some rare ones. Yeah, especially stuff that didn't get released.
Yeah, those video nasty went for a fortune, didn't they?
We got Jake in the house. Hey guys, how's it going, Jake? Does Jake not make videos anymore? Does he?
He's on Instagram.
And he does. Yeah, his art's cool. Yeah, his art's cool. That's some of his art on his image there, isn't it? The heart.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It's amazing. Some of his stuff.
It's cool.
Clever stuff.
So we're going backtracking a bit. Sean was saying that he'd like to play the fan-made Darius, but probably won't buy one just for that. So I assume he's referring to the Mega SD.
Yeah.
But can you not play that on the, on another?
I'm guessing you could if someone's ripped the file. Yeah. That's what usually happens. Like they brought out the Switch game of Secret of Mana, what's it called? Collection of Mana or Trials of Mana, and then they ripped it and then it worked straight on the Super Nintendo through like an EverDrive, which was brilliant.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because everyone was using the translated one, and then obviously this one's proper translated, like official. So people were just taking it off it, which I knew that would happen. It'd just be an emulator.
So Sean is correcting me. UltraCore was Strictly Limited Games, which is a third company then. So you've got Limited Run, Strictly Limited, and then you've got, what was the other one that I mentioned? Fuck knows.
Is it the one that did 99V? Special? Is it Special Reserve or something?
Special Reserve. That's it. Special Reserve. And yeah, he's saying Downwell is a bargain with a flip grip, which it really is. Like, even though if you're not interested in the game, just fucking get that for a flip grip, and then flip grip for playing stuff. Because I play Time Pilot on the Switch a bit lately, and I'd like flip grip for that. Have you got a flip grip, Steve?
I haven't. I do need to get one with all the great arcade games coming out for it. Like, game mode is a must.
So I'd recommend grabbing that Downwell for $30. Yeah, $30. Because I can't remember how much they were, but it worked out it's going to be like $20, $30 to buy. And I know a lot of these, like some of the companies like Limited Runner, Strictly and all that, they pay your import fees, so you don't get stung. So $30 with one of them it's a no-brainer. And Sean is saying he also ordered Paprium. If it comes out, happy days. If not, it's only £60. Sadly, not the case for some of us who put a fucking shit ton of money into it, but never mind. So yeah, that's the comments, guys. If anyone has got a favourite 16-bit game or like a lesser known 16-bit game they want to talk about,
That's a tough one.
Any 16-bit?
Yeah, that's
Or
really
the
hard.
Sega?
any 16-bit,
Man.
Amiga, Atari ST, SNES, whatever you like.
Well, to me, the 16-bit era is the greatest genre of all games ever. I think that's when games peaked, and I don't think there's been such rivalry and publishers pushing games since. I really feel that, and there's so many great 16-bit games. Wow, where do you begin? That's a tough one.
It is,
And
isn't
the
it?
music,
that's really
like
hard.
the music is like, I mean, I like out of Sega and Nintendo, like I'm more Nintendo for the music, especially Konami and stuff like that. Like they got some killer tracks, and like the Final Fantasy games, the Chrono Trigger, the music in them games is beautiful. Like you can just sit there and just listen to it, and it's so fantastic. I mean, is it what was I playing? Monster World 4? Is that the one? That's for me. I didn't know that existed, and I got into that, and I really enjoyed that on the Mega Drive.
It's a great game, and that
was great.
Really on the Sega as well, and not a lot of people have played that game.
It's definitely one of the best games. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Such a good one.
But I don't know. I think some of the crossover Amiga Mega Drive games get forgotten. Like games like Flink on the Mega Drive. That game looks absolutely stunning. The sprites on that are really good. There's so many games. Just having a quick look.
I'm trying to think.
It's a really hard question to.
There's so many obvious ones though, isn't there? Like so many. Like
we could just churn off so many obvious games.
Because for me, I've been jumping on like I get a system, and then I'm looking at more the games we didn't get. So we didn't get like your Chrono Trigger, your Final Fantasy 3. So for me, seeing them and being like, right, I've got the Super CIC mod, I can now play them. So with the Mega Drive, it's not so bad. You can just whack in an import game. You know, you got a hassle with the SNES to mess about unless you buy a foreign SNES. But like games like that, we didn't get, but they're obvious. You know, I'm trying to think of something that's not so. The Fireman. I like the Fireman. Have you played that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, not many people know about it. I mean, the frame rate isn't 60. It's kind of like 30, I think. But it's still a fun game, and it's just one of those games you can pick up and play it, and then you've done it, and that's it. You've got to sit there for hours and hours. You can just go, spend 45 minutes on it. And it's a fun game, and it's unique. There's not much like that. I mean, Burning Rangers, people have been saying you've got to get that, and I've not played that. Is that like oh no, that's not 16-bit, but like as a fireman game, is that a fireman game or something?
Yeah,
it's very chuggy.
Chuggy.
It's very original. It's very original.
The first
it's
few levels of that game is good.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive on the Saturn. But it's I mean it's okay. I don't know if it justifies the price that it goes for. I mean it's like
just think it was an unfinished game. I think Sonic Team announced that they had to push that game out before they finished it.
Yeah.
So
I always enjoyed the on the Mega Drive Jurassic Park and Rampage Edition.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed them. They're quite hard, but once you know how to work with them, I mean Jurassic Park is much more of a sort of like a more accurate platformer, whereas Rampage Edition is more like a run and gun. But they're both really good games. I think Rampage is better, but I can't say I played the Lost World on Mega Drive. That was
I love
game.
Probotector as well, but like the Mega Drive one, I am terrible. Like I'm game over on the first level. I just get hammered. It's just everything just goes at you. Whereas the SNES one, it's like, you just casually, like the NES ones, you're walking through casual, you can just shoot. This is like, you're going to die, everything once you're dead. And with the Japanese one having an actual health bar, and I think it was 3 hits, it kind of made you want to play the Japanese one more. But it's still a great game. The music's great, the graphics are great.
Yeah.
Some really cool
effects. I went to see Retro Dave, a couple of years ago, and he was getting into his Mega Drive or his Genesis, and he had Contra Hard Corps.
Yeah.
And he said he got rid of it because it was just too hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting good, and I was just not enjoying it because I loved everything about it, but just it's a great game, but too hard for me. I mean, am I probably getting too old? Maybe as a kid I would have been a bit better, but
I don't want to say on a Sega stream, but the SNES version was a lot better. Alien Wars. I know it wasn't. It's a different game ultimately, but obviously very similar.
I think Konami at the time, because a load of them left and formed Treasure, and you had Gunstar Heroes on the Mega Drive.
That's incredible.
I think
love that.
With Probotech, that they're like, balls to you, Treasure. We're going to chuck everything into Probotector and show you that we can do it with, more. And it looks absolutely fantastic, but they just got the difficulty wrong in that game.
Yeah, it was brutal.
That game a lot, and I cannot beat that game. It is
but the thing is,
hard.
When you was a kid, you would have done it and you would have smashed it.
I would have, definitely.
Yeah.
Now you've got kids and you've got a job, or you've got so many other distractions in life. I ain't got the patience to be frustrated. I mean, I've just completed Uncharted: The Lost Legacy on PS4. And fantastic game.
Nice and chill.
Yeah, and you can take your time. And if you die, you respawn at exactly the same point where you die. You can try again. I can't be arsed with sitting down. With a 16-bit game, they're too brutal for us old farts. I think sometimes
they hold your hand in the modern games now. Sometimes it comes up. Mario games, it will come up and it would say. Are you having trouble? Do you want to have an invincibility star? And you're like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Rub it in my face because I'm dying. I'm like,
I think it's because modern gaming is, so big, isn't it? And
they don't want to put people off with the difficulty. That's why when you get, you've got kids and stuff. My lad, he comes around and plays retro with me, and it's just he'll play it, and within 5 minutes he's like, "Nah, I'm done." He's had enough. I've got him into some of the arcade games. I know Pete recommended Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I hadn't played that, but I'd heard of it, and we put it on, and he loved it. He loved that, playing through that. But obviously, infinite credits. If he was in the arcade with 50p a pound, he'd have give up. He'd have been game over. I don't want to do it.
I think that's what they did with. Go on, Scott.
My lad will play. He just hasn't got the attention span for the retro. But sort of like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, that kind of thing, because there isn't really much of that in modern gaming as such. He really enjoys it. He loves Streets of Rage and games like that.
How old is your lad, Scott?
He is 11.
See, my lad's 6, and my mate come round a couple of weeks ago, and he says, and he was playing he was playing Turtles in Time, and he says, "Do you think he's the only kid in his school that's still got a SNES?" And I said, "Yeah," but he loves it. He especially side-scrolling beat-em-ups. He will play them for hours. And because he hasn't been, the only kind of modern stuff, I haven't really got anything on the PS4 that would interest him. Maybe the odd Sonic. He loves the Wii U, but a lot of those games are easily accessible for him. But in terms of retro, he really gravitates to it. But he hasn't been exposed to Fortnite and all that,
See, my lad, he is. Unfortunately, my lad, that's all he does is play Fortnite. He started with Minecraft, which was good. I liked him in that, but this Fortnite has its issues.
It's not too late to put him up for adoption.
I can make you laugh, right? So, I don't know if you've played the new Smash Brothers, the latest one on the Switch. Right, so obviously, about some of the characters that are in it, right? So they put Ryu in it, right? So I put on X-Men Street Fighter. I'm like, come on, let's go, me versus you. And he's like, okay. He jumps in and he goes, obviously, straight for Ryu. And he's like, forward and B. And he's like, why is it not doing Hadouken? So what's it doing it? And I'm like, it's not forward and B. You've got to go round it. He's like, I can't do that. It's forward and B. And he's getting frustrated. He's 16. And I felt mad. But when I play as him in Smash Brothers against him, I'm doing the moves properly because you can do both. So I'm doing the harder hitting ones. So you can either do it easy, forward and B, or you can actually do the round and punch. And it was just made me laugh, because he's so far out of it. But he won't, he tries the games, but it's hard to get him to, we play Pop and Twinbee, and he's just like, oh, this is fun. And then after 2 levels, we're like, can we turn it off now and play something else? And I'm like, I want to finish it. And then I finish it on my own. So
I think whilst they are more difficult, but on the other side, they are also more simple. They're easy to pick up. They're easy to play. Like I say, with my lad, he's got a little At Games Master System, and he'll play that for hours. He will literally sit in the back of the car, and he will play that for hours. We've got him the Mega Drive one this year, and Mrs. She doesn't know that it's got Mortal Kombat on it, so it's like
keeping it secret.
Yeah, a little bit.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, but he loves all that, and it's nice that the sort of young kids can still sort of relate to it. We were down the park a couple of weeks ago, and there was these 2 young girls, and they were playing Sonic on their iPhone, and it was like Sonic 1, and he was like, "Oh, they're playing Sonic." And it was like, yeah, they are playing Sonic. So it's quite nice to see other kids outside of,
Especially with the mini consoles, it's pushing it out there for little kids as well. If they're not into it, like they'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my throat is knackered. I've got a sore throat at the moment. But yeah, it pushes it out there. Like the systems, like they'll start going, "Oh, Sonic's in this," and I get it with Nintendo as well. With the Switch, they're pushing out like the SNK now. So when they said like, I've lost his name now. From Fatal Fury. Red Cat.
Terry Bogard.
Yeah. People are like, "Who's this old guy? What's he doing here? Why is he in this game?" But now they're getting into it and they're starting looking it up, and it's bringing them into the SNK side of things, and so it is getting out there. But I just it's the attention span. I think especially with proper like 8-bit. 16's not so bad with a lot of games, but 8-bit that's killer with a lot of them games.
Yeah.
It's game over. Back to the beginning of the level.
And I think if you go even further back, it's just bleeps and bloops, really, ain't it? That's why
I can't get on with that. Like Atari and stuff. People
when I see like big Alex and Dave getting these really old school, more power to them. But to me, I just can't.
Doesn't interest me at all.
Doesn't really click with me.
Oh, I love that stuff. Like I love playing on my BBC Micro. Love it. That's like fucking four colours
from schools. Yeah, used to have it in school.
Yeah, I love it.
The same with me with the Spectrum. I absolutely love the Spectrum with me. We did have the BBC Micros at school. But they were predominantly all sort of like learning games.
Yeah.
And
Granny's Garden.
Arcade games. I grew up with the Spectrum, so it's great for me to go back to that because it takes me to an age when I had no worries. It's before teenage gaming. And,
I didn't get into Spectrum till I was like, I must have been about 10 or 11. Like I was past, like no one cared. I got one off, back in the day you get the newspaper and it would be like the local ads. It was like Spectrum plus 300 games for a £5. And I got it then, I had the 128K plus 2, and I loved it. And I played so many games on it. But now I'm just not as, I probably wouldn't give it the time. I enjoyed it back then. I loved it and I was obsessed with it. But now I don't know.
With me, it's the whole process. It's the whole, people are going, "Oh, just get this SD adapter and you can."
Yeah, but it's the whole thing of loading up the cassette.
No, I like sitting there, putting the tape in the cassette deck, chilling out, and loading that game. I don't know what it is, but it just relaxes me. I've had a stressful day, and I think I'm going to go up for an hour.
Sit there listening to it.
I sit there for 10 minutes just staring at that screen while the bloody game.
Try not to have a seizure.
Yeah. How much of that is nostalgia, though, Scott? That's the thing. How much has been? Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And I think if there's no nostalgia for it,
some of the games you'll play them in. If the nostalgia's not there, you're just going to think this is awful. But
Horace goes skiing.
Quite a few Spectrum games that are still really playable. I found that with collecting the Hit Squad stuff because they were the bigger titles on the Spectrum, sort of like the arcade ports and things like that. Some of them are great games. With the limited hardware that was there, it's crazy how much gameplay is still there in those games today. It really is. But yeah, I can understand why people don't go back that far and why it's not as popular. But yeah, it is just a nostalgia thing. If I didn't do it as a kid and all that, then I probably wouldn't do it now.
Yeah. I think 16-bit is when it become visual, didn't it? That kind of that standard
telling a story as well.
Yeah,
there was an actual story to it with games. And
I mean, if you grew up playing because when I was a kid, we didn't really have any computers at home until the Amiga, and I'd go to mates and I'd play Spectrum, I'd play Amstrad, and play C64, and then for example, when I got my Amiga, I got the Screen Gems pack, which has Shadow of the Beast 2 in. Right, you load up Shadow of the Beast 2, and you see that intro, and you're like, the fuck, that is like a huge jump visually.
Yeah, massive. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my god, that like proper blew me away. That did.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same with me with the Mega Drive because I'd gone from the Spectrum. We did get the Amiga, but I didn't have much for it at the time, and because it was weird because I got my Amiga pretty much the same time as I got my Mega Drive. So it was a big jump for me for both systems. So yeah, instantly just loading up the Mega Drive, playing those games, going from very primary colours and beacon sound to games that look very close to arcade games. Even though now they weren't as close as we thought back then. To me, being a kid, that just blew me away. Being able to play.
I don't know. I think they were pretty close, Scott.
Yeah,
I think they were.
Yeah, they're
Stuff
pretty
like,
good, yeah.
Stuff like Golden Axe. You put Golden Axe on the Mega Drive. Let's say you're 10 years old and you play Golden Axe at the arcade. You ain't seeing any difference there.
No.
Yeah.
No,
you know what I mean? You can pick it apart now, but.
And I don't think we've ever had a jump like that. Like the 8-bit to 16-bit was so massive.
I don't know. I think I think
there has been bigger ones.
The jump to PlayStation era was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of us have put on like Gran Turismo or whatever on PlayStation. We're like, oh my god, looks real.
Yeah, when you used to see the lighting effects like coming down the car, and I was like, look at that, and I'd just stop the car and go back and forward so that the rays would go on the car, and I'd be like,
like it looks real. It ain't ever going to get better than this.
Not going to get better than that, yeah.
And now we look at it and we're like, fucking hell, it looks really shocking, yeah.
Yeah.
5 triangles.
I think that, you know, whatever the Dreamcast, PS2, Xbox Cube generation was, that was tech's almost slowed down, hasn't it? You know, and now it's, you know,
the 32-bit sort of like era with them, sort of like the games and that. You've never had a jump, I don't think, as significant.
No,
definitely.
I think a lot of the you know, leaps are things that we don't necessarily see. So in terms of physics and calculation, you know, things like, you know, how, you know, characters react to different materials and you know, like I said, I was playing Uncharted, and you can go from Uncharted on PS3 to PS4, and it is gobsmacking in terms of like how different you know, the grounds feel when you're running with, you know, with Nate or something, for example, and you know, it's, you know, in plant life and, you know, all the kind of the textures become much more vivid. Whereas I think the gameplay probably hasn't changed, but I think with racing games, I think that's one genre that's really developed every time, because you think the physics of trying to get in a car to move up a hill, stop at a certain distance, the sort of computing processing power that's needed, it's gone up every time in every generation. I think Gran Turismo shows that better than anything, really.
Yeah.
I think one of the big ones for the PS3 sort of Xbox 360 era, in terms of like jumps with physics, was the Havoc engine. Do you remember when the Havoc first came out, right? And I remember when they first came out, and they put, I don't know if you remember this, they put out a trailer, and it was like an American football trailer, and it was showing the impact of when the football players hit each other. And it was like, oh shit. And then they obviously, I think one of the first games they put it in was GTA 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, and you hit someone and they're flying off and everything, and it's like these ragdoll physics. But that Havoc engine, if you look at how many games that Havoc engine is actually in, like on the PS3, it's nuts. And that was kind of like a big jump, I think, physics-wise.
It's like Unreal Engine, isn't it, really? That's kind of like the staple for most things.
Oh, yeah, it's massive.
You know, when you've got, you know, Mario titles being made in Unreal Engine, then it's...
Have you seen it like they've done Ocarina of Time in the engine? This guy's making it himself, and Nintendo haven't shut him down yet, but it's incredible, like the detail. Yeah. It's just what it could be, and that's one guy.
Yoshi's Crafted World is Unreal Engine, isn't it?
Yeah. I love when they put out the trailers for Unreal, they always do like a tour of like a, you know, like an estate agent's tour of a flat or something. It's never games. It's always some random thing. And I love showing them to the missus. And I'm like, what do you think of this flat? And she's like, yeah, it looks all right. And I'm like, that's a game engine. It's not real. She's like, what? And there was one of a car. And I'm like, what do you think of this car? And she's like, it looks all right. And I'm like, it's a fucking game. Do you know what I mean? It's like mind-blowing. But obviously...
If you could go back and show yourself as a kid, you like, look at that. And your mind would just be gone.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It is absolutely unbelievable.
Just going to the comments because Sean gave us some favourite 16-bit games. So Tatsujin, aka Truxton. Anyone a fan?
Yeah,
Yes.
love it.
Brilliant
Never
game.
played it.
I don't know about that. I think it's a bit too hard for me.
I don't like it too hard.
It is hard, but it's a quality game. Love that game.
The next one on his list is a cracking game, Elemental Master. Brilliant music.
Oh,
I've not even
brilliant
heard of
game.
that.
Oh, that's
Brilliant.
Japanese only in it, Steve.
Did it get American?
I
think
don't.
it might have got a US release as well.
Oh, it did.
American, yeah.
So I remember
What's the
one.
game I played? Was it Twinkle Tail? Is that one? Is
Yeah,
that a game?
that's good. Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. I thought that was a nice. It was pretty casual shooter. Like you had a bit of a buffer. You didn't have to worry too much. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Mega Drive's answer to sort of Pocky and Rocky.
Yeah,
It's quite
I actually
cutesy.
think it's better than.
It's like a cutesy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool game. That expensive, really expensive now.
Yeah.
that's the problem, isn't it? Everything's so expensive. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get Street Fighter 03. I'm like, yeah, that'd be all right. But like 30, 40 quid, no, 200. I'm like,
Ouch.
yeah, it's not happening.
You get it on the Dreamcast when you get your Dreamcast for
Yeah, it's cheaper.
a lot.
I need the
less.
control for it though. That's the only thing. Is there an adapter for like the Saturn?
Got showing us.
That's what I'd need.
There isn't, but
Elemental Master.
Yeah.
Nice.
they do these things called FightPad FTs made by ASCII.
Oh, I've
Kev?
heard of those. Yeah,
Yeah, I
With
got a
the rubber
couple
Yeah,
of
they're
those.
good.
on the
They
back.
look like Saturn pads basically.
Yeah.
They
But
feel good.
They're quite pricey, but they feel great.
Okay,
'Cause
that's all that matters.
personally, I don't play fighters on arcade sticks.
I don't either.
I can't get on with it.
No.
I need a
Because I was
D-pad.
thinking that everyone was playing, fighters on. I just cannot play a fighter
Yeah, I
on an
can't.
arcade stick.
No, it has to be a D-pad. Like I cannot do a Hadouken on a stick for fucking toffee, man. I'm useless.
I think if you can get it working, it's a lot more accurate an arcade
Oh,
stick.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm the same. Saying that, though, Kev, you can get a Dreamcast to Saturn adapter. They're about 15 quid on eBay. There's loads of them.
I've got a Dreamcast to PS1 adapter, which is pretty good.
Because I can't
Yeah,
get
I've
on
got-
with like the PS1 D-pad for fighters is awful. The
Yeah, it's
Super
crap.
Nintendo is okay, but like the Mega Drive 6-button for me is so smooth. It's like butter, just so good to do
Yeah.
the moves.
Yeah.
And the
brilliant.
Saturn as well, the Saturn Model 2. I love that pad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
So
that's
good.
the best pad ever.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
fantastic.
Absolutely love that.
because you can get the obviously Champion 2D. Rob has got the PS2 version of that Saturn pad. And I think
Alright.
he said he paid about
Yeah.
150 quid for it.
Yeah.
It's £200. It's ridiculous.
Ouch.
But it's Japanese only.
Yeah, all the good stuff is.
All the best stuff
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
An absolutely great 16-bit game that don't get mentioned enough. Troubleshooter.
Not heard of that one either.
Absolutely fantastic game.
No,
That is.
I'll
Graphics
check it
are
out.
stunning.
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
It's like
Check it out.
Forgotten Worlds.
Okay.
I think it's done by one of the guys that done Forgotten Worlds, and it's instead of two guys, you're two girls, and it's the same basis, but it's an absolutely fantastic game. It never got released in the UK.
What's that called?
Troubleshooter.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
trying to remember the Japanese name of it. I can't remember.
Troubleshooter, probably.
But it's an absolutely fantastic game. Doesn't get talked about very
Nice.
often at all.
So Sean has also said he said Guns for Heroes, which we did cover.
Yeah,
But
brilliant.
he said Desert Strike. What a game!
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I love that
Yeah.
growing up. I rented that.
It-
That's a blockbuster special for me. That was.
Nice.
That's
What's
when
your
EA
favourite
were at
one?
their
What's your
best, wasn't
favourite
it?
strike game? What's your
Jungle.
favourite strike game?
Jungle, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say Jungle.
Yeah.
I've got do you know the quick shot Pythons?
Yeah,
So that was the beauty. I'm sure you'll agree, Scott, because you had an Amiga and a Mega Drive, and I had an Amiga and Mega Drive as a kid, very luckily. And you could buy like the Python sticks or whatever, and they'd work on the Mega Drive as well.
yeah,
And I had the Python for my Amiga, but using that on Desert Strike and Jungle Strike is mint because it's proper like chopper controls.
Oh, so much better using one of them.
Love it. Addy Sneaker Freak Steve is here. He said, "For this is a panel."
This is a good, solid lineup, I think.
We've got 00 Piper 18,000. I put the Mega Drive on, and my 8-year-old asked if the TV was broken.
Was that with RF though? Was that RF on a?
Oh yeah,
on
that's
LCD?
a good question. Was that RF? Because we look down on RF around these parts, don't we? But okay, here's a good question actually. So back in the day, did anybody use anything but RF?
Yeah, on PS1 when they brought out mod chips, so you could play the American games in color because they wouldn't work without an RGB SCART.
What about 16-bit era like Mega Drive? Like I knew nobody who ever did anything but RF.
RF every single system.
Yeah.
RF. When it got to
It's
PS1.
the only TVs only had an aerial, didn't they? Really? I mean, you think if you were a kid, you used to have a little 14-inch CRT, and it would just have an aerial. First time I used a SCART was on a PS1 for Gran Turismo, and when my mum went out, I used to sneak the PS1 downstairs, hook it into the back of the TV, and then like play it for hours while she was out, and then when she come back, I'd fuck off upstairs.
See, I had a monitor for my Amiga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
I had a monitor for my Amiga, but everything else was RF. But I never remember thinking, "Wow, the Amiga picture was so much better than anything else."
Yeah, I had a monitor for my Amiga, but the Mega Drive was like downstairs TV, you know.
I think we're spoiled these days, you know, when you watch things like My Life in Gaming and Digital Foundry, and they talk about, this little pixel is, out by, points, and then they break it down in such technical, sort of ways. We're spoiled now, and when you're a kid, you just go with it.
You didn't care, That's what I mean. Now I care.
You didn't care about frame rates, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I care back then I'd have been happy with RF, like on the crappy 6-inch screen or something terrible, and it would be even if it was a black and white screen, I'd have still played it. But now it's like, oh, hang on, I'm on my 4K TV and it's not looking as crisp as it should. I've got to tune in the OSSC, and I'm like spending 2 hours doing that instead of playing the actual game, which is kind of, I don't know, but I think I'd have just played anything.
That's why the FrameMeister was brilliant, but the options is just, it's mind-boggling, and you really need to go deep into FrameMeister forums to get the best technical aspect, because every system, you can't just have a one size fits all. Every system is custom for that. The setup is completely different for the Mega Drive to the Dreamcast to the PS2.
Every resolution's different, like the Mega Drive doing like the 320 next to the SNES doing the 240, so it's like everything's got to be set up. But the OSSC, you can save it. So I've got a piece of paper which is down there, and I just go, right, I'm playing the SNES, so I go to number 2, and I'm playing the Saturn, I'll go to number 7, and it's all ready for me. But once you're setting it before that, you get sort of like you're hacking or something. You feel like you're some sort of secret agent. You're tuning it in, like, oh, look at them pixels, and your missus is watching you, like, sad. You're sitting there for 2 hours trying to tune it in properly.
From what I see of the FrameMeister, because I never owned one, but I do have an OSSC. The OSSC seems to be a bit more simple to use.
Yeah, seems to.
You've got your 4.3. You can just set it to 4.3 generic, and it will give you a good picture, which is slightly blurry. But once you tune it in and get it finely tuned, it is like better than emulation. But then it's what you give it as well. You talking cables, then you can spend a $5 for a cable on eBay and be like, oh, this is great. But then if you're listening to the audio, you've got that buzz in the background. And like I've got this one today. I've got this cable just in front, which was the Dreamcast is coming. So I got the new 480p one, where you can choose 480p and 240 off of the actual selector switch.
Nice.
So I think that'll do it good. And you can line double it on the OSSC, so it's nice and crisp. Or you can play the fighters, which I didn't know. You can hold start and L, I think it is, and set it to 240. I didn't even know this thing.
Like 10 games.
But I think it's for the best games, though, isn't it? Like Marvel versus Capcom and things.
It's like
great.
All the Capcom games, isn't it, that they do that on?
It's good that they did that, because even like the OG Xbox playing Marvel versus Capcom on that, and then you fire it up and it's in 480p, and you line double it. It's all like washed out. The pixels aren't as sharp, and I like it to be nice and sharp and crisper the better. But like you said, you play anything when you were a kid. You didn't care, did you?
Yeah.
No, exactly. Now CRTs are all the rage.
That's it. Everyone wants one. If you can find one that's working.
My first
I'm obsessed with them. I just keep buying them.
Yeah, you're a madman, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
So many CRTs.
Steve's got about 15 of them, haven't you?
Have you?
If you include the arcade cabs, I think it's closer to 18.
Fucking
And the Vectrex. Don't forget the Vectrex got CRT in it as well.
yeah, that's
There
true.
is-
Yeah. So
there is a
I got 3 then if we include the Vectrex.
I've never
Yeah.
played a Vectrex, but it's always fascinated me.
Mate,
I think it's incredible.
Vectrex scene is proper kicking off at the moment. It's mint.
Yeah, it's
Really good.
really, really good.
It looks really smart.
Vectrex.
That'd have blown my mind.
My first ever CRT that I owned myself, right, I was about 14. I like Christmas and birthday, because my birthday is in December, and I'm like, right, I'm going to put my money in and get a little CRT for my bedroom. I got this little 14-inch thing, and we went down the local, you get the local, video shop where they sell all the TVs and all this.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I bought, of all brands, I bought a Nokia 14-inch TV purely because it had these flaps that basically it had the speakers on the side. And you had these flaps that you could open and it would angle the sound towards you. And because I was a kid, I was like, that's sick. I'm going to get that, right? The beauty of this TV that I didn't realize is somehow this TV would tune in to channels that you had not paid for on Sky or whatever. So we had cable. We got cable when I was around that age, right? And I remember, you guys remember this when you're like 14. You used to watch the 10-minute preview on, what was that?
Boy.
What was that
Television
channel?
X.
Television X, right? So you get the 10-minute preview. So you got 10 minutes to knock one out, and then you cut off, right? And for some reason, this Nokia it unlocked all the porn channels for free. And my parents didn't know, obviously. So I'd just be like, sweet. And like, you could watch the 10-minute preview and then you could just watch porn all night for free. It's fucking the best TV ever. It's like the best 14-year-old gift ever.
You've seen that clip on Family Guy where Quagmire knocks on Peter's door
Oh, yeah,
and
he discovers it.
I've just discovered porn, and it like turns around. He's got like an arm like the Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk, like that. He's like, I've got to get back. My first CRT was a Ferguson, and we rented it, and I think my mum rented it for me, and I think it was like
Rumbelows or something.
Yeah, £12 a month from Tandy's or wherever it was, and you think like, who rents TVs? It's bizarre, isn't it?
A lot of people did round here.
Yeah.
And
My mum did. My mum rented a TV for many years because every time anything went wrong, they just give you another one, and that's all she did. She just kept getting another TV. My first TV was, I don't know what the brand was, but it was a red TV. It was bright red. And I was using it, but it had a problem with the picture I was giving it. And every time you'd like be playing a game, the picture would just all flip out, and you'd have to smack the side of it, and it would focus again. So I'd be like, smack, and it like 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm up late, and I'm like, bang, like that. And my mum's like, you want that TV? I'm like, jump in bed. But those were the days. And then I think my first TV I bought was like a Bush 32-inch with my own money, and I was like, yeah, 32-inch, I feel like a boss. And it was crap quality. It was awful, but it was massive. It was like that wide at the back, stuck out forever, took up the whole end.
I had a Panasonic 32-inch, and it was this thing was
huge,
enormous.
That would have been
nice.
My TV growing up, like obviously, was wooden. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have one of them? Yeah. It was like a wood
with a dial.
Yeah. And my parents had a black and white one.
My first TV was black and white in my bedroom, and I can remember my parents let me have the Spectrum up in the bedroom, and it was one of those ones that had the antennae at the back.
Oh yeah. And
then you had the dial, and you would tune it in, and you'd sit there playing a game, and it would slowly go
creep.
I remember that. It used to be so
That's how I played NES as a kid, But like the first time we didn't have a NES at the beginning, and it was my nephew had one, and we used to go around his house and he used to tune it in, and it'd be like, oh, you go around there, and his dad would be like, oh, I'm gonna watch the cricket, and we were so gutted as kids when they like putting the cricket on. No offense if you guys like it, we were wanting to play like World Cup or something on the NES, and he's like, oh, I'm putting cricket on. We were sitting there gutted, sitting there watching him watch cricket. We're like, oh, we'll go in the garden then.
My parents hung on like to that fucking wooden TV for dear life, right?
Yeah.
And near the end of its life, it started taking an hour to turn on. So they'd be like, oh, we watch TV in an hour, and then press on, and then like an hour later it would come on. It's like, we get rid of this goddamn TV. And I think they got rid of it when it extended to about 24 hours. You know,
My mum was the same though. I think she had a CRT. I think she only changed it probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And that was a big thing. She just kept it, and if it still worked, she kept it. And then they basically said, Sky went, "You need to use HDMI now. We can't support it. You're going to have to upgrade." And then she was like, "Okay." And then she got she went all out. She got 50-inch, and she was like surround sound and everything. So she jumped on that.
My missus' nan has still got a CRT.
Wow.
It's a widescreen thing, but she's in her 80s. She's not bothered. But when my nan and granddad used to rent a TV, and my mum was completely unaware that they were renting this TV, and then my granddad died, and mum was like going through all the pay, and she was like, "Mum, you're still renting your TV. 15 years you've rented this set for," and it was costing them like £25 a month for this CRT.
You could buy it for like the 20, less than 25 probably.
Yeah, it was crazy, absolutely crazy.
When I got my B&O, not the one I have now because I have a 4000, but before that I had a 7000. And when I went to pick it up, the guy says to me, "What are you going to use this for?" And I said, "Oh, it's just for playing like retro games like Mega Drive." And I go, "What do you use it for?" And he goes, "It's my TV." And I'm like, "Oh, right." And he goes, "Yeah, like now it's digital or whatever, it doesn't work, so I just have to get rid of it." And I'm like, "Bloody hell, mate."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same for me when I got my original B&O, the big one. I went and picked it up, and it was an elderly couple, and they said that was their main TV. They had just gone out and bought a new television, and they bought that brand new back in like the mid-90s or something.
Wow.
Thing is, though, them B&Os cost an absolute fortune brand new, so that was probably like
thousands.
Yeah,
they were like three grand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the MX 7000 seems to be not undesirable, but it doesn't seem to have the same. People don't seem to want it as much as the 4000. I know this 4000.
Is it just because the size makes it look
just size?
not good?
Yeah.
No, it's not even the picture.
Oh, the picture's not different.
Picture looks fantastic on a 7000. Well, I had an 8000, which is exactly the same as a 7000, apart from a slightly different input on the back. But it's mint. The only reason I switched to 4000 is size. That's it.
Yeah, same here. I only went to the 4000 for the size of it.
Yeah. Plus, the 4000's like a beautiful looking TV. Me and Steve, we were saying about it. I think when we went to Ali's, didn't we? We were saying that even though it's a CRT, if someone was to come into your house, no one would question why you've got that set up. Whereas I think if you've got some old boxy Sony, if you've got like an old Sony or Panasonic, people go, "Like, why you got that set up?"
Well, it's weird. Like the 7000 and 8000, they just look like a big 4000, but for some reason the 4000 just looks nicer, like the form of it.
Yeah.
When I picked up the 8000, my mate helped me pick it up the stairs. And I go, "Right, let's turn it on." And I was putting it on. I was like, "This is sick." And I put on Turrican on the Amiga and everything. I was like, "Mate, this is fucking sick. Listen to the sound. Listen to that. Look at this." And he's just looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" It's so funny. He just totally didn't get it at all. It was great.
Must be the only TV where the remote is actually worth more than the set as well.
Yeah, it's very true.
I noticed that. You go on eBay and the remote is going for like 50 quid at least.
50 quid, yeah. I bought a second remote for a tenner like a couple of months back because I just thought it's a tenner. I'd definitely get that in case it breaks or whatever. They're worth like you say, 40, 50 quid. And
we need the remote to gain access to the options, didn't you?
The service menu.
Yeah.
But I know that the last generation Sony, is it the KV-21? KVs, they're like pretty much like the last kind of Sony CRTs, but they've kind of like pure flat screen panel, nice sort of like symmetrical, almost like grey white, quite a nice looking TV. But they really go for a lot of money now. They're 200 quid for one. Because I think they're seen as even better than the B&O.
There was one at Play Expo, and I actually took a photo with the model number because I can't remember who I was with, but I said that looks unbelievable. And it's like they called them Flatrons, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it. Flatrons,
and it looked stunning. But I think if you get I know Alex Nintendo Arcade is a big fan of Sony over B&Os, But I think if you're going to get a Sony, you'd want to have an external sound setup, whereas B&O, it does both very well. And that suits me space-wise. I know that if I put my Amiga on the B&O, I'm going to get fantastic sound from those speakers.
Yeah.
You can't play light gun games on the B&O though, right?
That's actually not true, because I played light gun games on my 8000 without any issue, but I haven't tried.
It was because there was like a sheet over.
There's glass on it, but it still works.
So I did a video on this. I put a video out about this because I was having issues with mine. And so the Dreamcast worked fine with House of the Dead. The Saturn worked okay, but Time Crisis on the PS2, you couldn't hit anything.
Interesting.
And I think I was speaking to Russ, and he was saying that with his one was a Perspex panel, and I've got glass. And I think with the Perspex, it's easier to take it out, but there was nothing I could do to get it out. But if you want to lock,
my 7000 played any light gun game fine, but my 4000 it won't play any.
I ain't tried my 4000 yet.
Yeah, I've tried.
So I do miss them. I miss light gun games. I don't have a CRT at all. It's all like through the OSSC. So for me, I loved light gun games, and especially in the arcade back in the day. Time Crisis used to so much fun. House of the Dead, I could still play that forever. But the last time I played it, I had to use a controller because
if you've got the motion, what are they called, the move controllers for PS4, and the gun attachment, because I had this rifle attachment. Like the House of the Dead on that is really good, actually.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Right, okay.
It's
proper good on the Wii, can't you? It's really good on the Wii.
It's good on the Wii, but on the PS4 with that move controller, it's proper accurate, and it's like really mint. Yeah.
Was it Overkill? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Overkill.
Yeah.
And they've got a Time Crisis Raising Storm, which has some what's it called? Dead Storm Pirates. That game is sick. It's some arcade game with like skeleton pirates, but that is a wicked light gun game on the PS3.
Nice. Yeah, I've got the move controls.
So as well on the PS3. That was any sort of download only, but that was absolutely amazing on the PS3 with the move controller.
Yeah.
Should we do another topic, Pete?
Yeah, there's a topic I really want to cover, and I'm sure everybody else does, which is obviously that the Dreamcast is 20 years old.
Yeah.
So let me again just look through the comments before we go on to it. But yeah, like Dreamcast memories and Dreamcast favorite games or whatever, anything Dreamcast you want to talk about, we'll talk about.
I'm just going to get a drink, guys.
Okay, mate.
Bye.
So Kieran was saying, as in terms of like, when we're talking about jumps graphically or with physics, he's saying that PSP blew him away. As a teen, he was so amazed with the graphics going from Game Boy to the PSP. And I totally agree with that. I thought that the PSP was
like HD. It was like so crisp. The screen was incredible.
It was the first time that the handheld could mimic console for me.
Yeah. It was like a handheld PS2.
Yeah, I know people say Game Boy Advance was a handheld SNES, but I don't think I'd agree with that.
It wasn't exactly. Yeah, the audio was definitely way under as well.
Yeah, but PSP was like, wow, this is nuts. Being able to play stuff like GTA on the go and stuff like that was incredible.
It's a shame the Vita didn't get the same sort of support, to be honest.
Oh, the screen on that's beautiful. The OLED on that is so nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I just sold my Vita about 3 days ago because I'm like, mine as well. I don't play it. Fuck it. Got rid of it. Horatio Bambaston Sean saying Battlemania. I'm not sure. I think that might have been a 6-bit game. Does anyone know Battlemania?
I don't know.
No,
I know Battlemaniacs.
Yeah, not heard of that.
That is the sequel, or it's something to do with Troubleshooter Battlemania.
Oh, maybe he's saying that's the Japanese name for it or something.
That's what it is, yeah, Battlemania.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, we're so far behind in the chat. I do apologise to everyone in the chat. Sean says he got a copy of Star Fox from a dodgy car boot dealer and had to buy a converter and SCART lead to play it. That's brilliant.
That's dedication.
Yeah. That's hardcore. And Steve saying there's a second-hand shop in Bristol has 4 Vectrexes in there.
Wow.
Fonzie Pinball.
Fonzie Pinball. Hey.
Hey.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, like going back to Vectrix, anyone who hasn't got a Vectrix, I'd thoroughly recommend buying one, and I'd recommend buying one now because I can see them going. I'm sure Steve will agree that they're going up in price a lot.
Definitely.
I luckily got mine on a Steve, was it you that sent me the link to the Vectrix on Gumtree or something? And I picked it up for like £100.
I don't think I did. I think I did send you a link, but I think you bought one like the week before or something.
Steve's a good lad. Steve's always like looking out for what people want, and he's always giving me heads up on stuff. I do appreciate that, Steve. Yeah. Good lad you are, Steve.
Thank you.
He is. He's a top man.
He is, isn't he?
Keeps finding me all these Amigas.
Yeah, I'm not good for your wallet.
No, he's not good for the wallet, but he's a good mate.
I'll find you some bargains.
So yeah. Anyone got a nice little Dreamcast memory or anything Dreamcast they want to?
I could tell you mine if you want.
I'd love to hear yours, Kev.
So the first time I didn't even know the Dreamcast was like going to be out, and then it got released in Japan early, wasn't it? Didn't they get it like was it a month or 2 months or something? I don't know. And my friend's cousin was mad. He would just buy random stuff. He'd just come in one day and go, "Look, I've got a starter pistol," and just start shooting it off in the house. He was bonkers, like, and he was just like, "I've got this Dreamcast," and I was like, "Oh, it's already out." He's like, "No, it's not out yet. I've got Sonic Adventure." So I rush around the house, get around there, and playing Sonic, and it's like Sonica, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, we had no idea, but we completed it. We sat there and we played it through the whole weekend and completed the story. And for me, that. I don't know. It was a big jump because he also had Sega Rally. He only had 2 games. Sega Rally was pretty much like the nuts at the time. There was like it was arcade perfect. I really loved it, the style, everything about it. Enjoyed it. So I was like, right, I've got to get one of these. And so I was pestering my mum, like, can we get one? And there was a shop in town, and it's closed down recently. It still was going after all these years. I did my work experience in there and everything. And they said we can pre-order the Japanese. Yeah, you can order the Japanese one and pay monthly. So I did that, and I managed to get one. And I think I got Marvel vs. Capcom. By the time it would come out, I had Marvel vs. Capcom, and I had Blue Stinger, which was a bad choice. And I got Sonic Adventure, but obviously all Japanese games. And that's how I first started playing the games. That was the way I did it until they released like the Power Stone as well. When they released Power Stone, I went going to the local shop, and I just remember seeing it being played. I was like, "What the hell is this? This is mental! I've never seen anything like it in my life." I was like, "Oh, it's the new Power Stone game," and I was on it, addicted. Instantly had to get that, and for me, that sold it for me. Of that era, like everyone was hyped up about. I think it was the PS2, and they were just going on about how good it was, and I was enjoying this more. And then I was like doing my exams, and people were saying, "Oh, I've got a PS2. It's so great." I've got a Dreamcast. They were like, "What's that?" And no one really in my school, I think it was me and one other, had it. So that's the earliest memory I've got of it. I don't know about you guys, what yours is.
The Dreamcast for me, it's the first console I ever bought on launch. It was the first console I ever bought with my own money. And I remember seeing Ready to Rumble in, I think it might have been Dixon's. Yeah. And that just blew me away. And I was earning good money. I was a chippies mate, stroke labourer. So I hadn't started my carpentry apprenticeship yet, but I was just sort of working on sites as a labourer, getting experience and earning all my money as like a 15, 16-year-old. And I remember going in on launch and buying the whole console, and I bought 4 controllers because I was also wowed by the VMUs. I've never seen.
Oh yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
It was just awesome. But I mean, on a sad note, it was the first ever console that overtook the arcades, and what ultimately killed the arcades.
Killed it,
But what a fantastic machine, though. I mean, I've still got my original VMU with, I think there's probably about 4 or 5 completed games on there. Ready to Rumble being one, Sonic Adventure being the other, Soul Calibur, everything unlocked.
Yeah.
All of my original VMU. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
The unlocking system on Soul Calibur was like amazing.
I've never played a fighter like it.
Yeah.
I've never played a fighter like it.
Was that where you had to do the mini games to unlock the stuff, like the outfits and stuff?
Yeah, and it had like this huge like sort of story mode of like unlockables. It was mad. Never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
The music in the museum as well. I love that.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Awesome.
Welcome to the stage of history.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. But yeah, that was my earliest memory of it.
I think for a lot of us, that was like the first console that we probably bought with our own money. And I can remember with me, it was the first console I bought when I had my own place. So that had quite a significance because I did buy the Sega Saturn myself, but I was still at home with my parents in my bedroom. And the Dreamcast was the first console I had in my own pad. And I can remember as well, I worked for Electronic Boutique. So I was there for the launch. It was just the best launch party ever for a console for me. And I think it's because I was behind the scenes. So I was there for the launch, the midnight opening, seeing everyone so excited, the queues. And yeah, there had never been a launch like it. A midnight opening, I can remember in my town, they were queuing down the road to get the Dreamcast.
Wow.
And it was crazy. No one had ever seen anything like that. And I think people forget that when the PlayStation 2 launched, over time we've forgotten that it had, I know it sold shed loads of systems, but there wasn't a decent launch game or a decent game on the PS2 for a good 18 months at least.
Yeah.
The PS2 launched and the lineup was embarrassing. They were PS1 games, basically.
I think I had, was it Tekken Tag, and that was like the best game at the time to get. There was like, even then it wasn't a proper game, was it? It was like
wasn't Wipeout quite an early one on PS1? Reasonably early.
On the
I don't think so.
I think it, when that came out. Oh, PS2, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that was like a big one on PS1.
If you think back to the PS2, the launch was awful.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the launch.
I
of
can
like
remember
what was there.
working at EB and parents bringing back their PS2s and wanting a refund. It was crazy.
So me and Scott have spoken because I was employed by the same company, Electronics Boutique or Game, at the same time Scott was, and I worked in the Lakeside branch, so down in Essex, and I missed the Dreamcast launch by a couple of weeks, but I managed, like, saying that, I also got a Dreamcast with my own money, so I bought a Saturn and Mega Drive, but that was like with birthday money and Christmas money.
Yeah,
the Dreamcast was the first system I actually bought with my own hard-earned.
With your hard-earned.
Yeah, and I put the deposit down, and I don't know how, but my mum, she was working with a guy who said, "Oh, I've got 20 Dreamcasts coming 4 days before launch." So clearly these ones are just falling off the back of a lorry. And so I managed to get one of these Dreamcasts, and I remember going online with it, and they used to call it the Dream Arena, which was like the Dreamcast portal, and you used to have like chat rooms.
Yeah,
and it was there was like, and it used to, and there was, I remember going on, and there was Sega Tester 1, Sega Tester 2, and they were like, "Why the fuck are you doing in here?" And I was like, shit. So I didn't go online until the launch again. But yeah, it was really good. And like I said, I remember going to working at Game and EB, and just getting all the latest releases coming out for the Dreamcast. I remember Code Veronica coming out, and all these sort of classic games. But I remember the PS2 launch. When the PS2 came out, there was obviously it was limited quantities, and people had to put, I think it was like a £50 deposit down. We had to write their name. We kept a copy. They kept a copy.
Yeah.
But it was ridiculous. People were we were escorting people to the cars because people were so wanting. I mean, people were selling them for like over $1,000.
Wow.
At your store as well, could you only pre-order a PS2 if you ordered an extra pad and so many games?
Oh yeah, we did all that.
I can remember having so many arguments with really angry dads that they couldn't pre-order a PS2 unless they bought another 100 odd quid's worth of accessories. Yeah, I remember our managers, because Scott, with pre-owned, did you used to set your own prices as well? Yes. Yeah, we used to do that. Or was that it was a free for all.
Yeah, it was. We used to manipulate it. So we used to get, say, someone would chuck in an N64, and then you'd say, right, we'll give you 120 quid for the console and all the games. And at the time, the company policy was just to make 40% on a game, where it was in our store at least. And used to manipulate all the prices. So give 30 quid for the 64, 10 quid on Mario, 20 quid on whatever, and then you'd get to like Zelda, Majora's Mask, just put pound, and then one of our system managers, he was a bit of a dodgy prick as well, and he was right. So you've got this for £1. Well, I guess it's £1.50 then, because we're making 50% profit on it. It was complete, it was manipulation.
Anything we bought in pre-owned, a member of staff could buy it for 99 pence more.
Yeah.
That's how it was for us. So I can remember if there was a game I wanted, I'd be like, yeah, you get £4 trade on that, and I'd get it for the 99p on top. So £4.99, I'd get like a 30 quid game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when you trade stuff in at game, they've all got set prices now.
It's all on a computer system.
But yeah, they were good times though. But it was. I remember when I remember people coming in saying because I was like the Dreamcast nerd at my store, and I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, Sega, they're going to go third party." Or they'll be making games on Nintendo and PlayStation. And I'll be like, no, they're not. Yeah. No, they're not. And I'll be like, and looking back, things like, fucking, I must have been such a twat. Some 18-year-old kid going, no, they're not. But I remember when Sega did go third party, I remember being quite angry about it, because all the time that I had invested into, I got a Master System when I was a kid. I got a Mega Drive, I got a Saturn, then I got a Dreamcast. And it was like that 15 years was just over. And it was, I remember being really quite
weren't the first
pissed
Sega
off.
game Sonic Heroes? That was one of the first platform games.
I remember the first
being gutted.
So the first Sega game that appeared on the PS2, as a third party, was Crazy Taxi. And I remember it was Sega announced the Dreamcast, then literally a month later, they said, right, we're partnering with Acclaim. They're bringing out Crazy Taxi. I remember seeing Crazy Taxi on the PS2, and I was like, it literally felt like you had caught your wife in bed with another man.
Yeah.
And it was sorry
about that, mate.
Yeah, it was like such strange feelings of sort of fanboyism. They stick with you, but
the PS2 port of Crazy Taxi is god awful.
Yeah, I remember looking at it thinking, it looks shit. It's all jagged and all this, and stupid attitude to have. But back then,
you can't beat a Dreamcast version, which is essentially based on the Naomi hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I follow up on you said about the online, basically? So, what was your online experience? Because for me, my first one with it was Phantasy Star Online. I didn't know this game was online only. I was like, I'll get this game. Couldn't play it online because I couldn't reach the actual telephone lead. So I was like, what do I do? So my mate goes, well, bring it round mine. It reaches. So I went round his house with my game and my VMU, plugged it in, we're playing it, and we played that non-stop. We were addicted to that game. We played hours and hours. Then finally, I got a cable for the house. I plugged it in, and it said, this is not compatible with your system. I'm like, what's going on? Now, I still don't know if you guys know this, but if you play it on someone else's system online, it logs their IP. So it was like... It was like you couldn't transfer it to the system. So when I brought it home to finally play it, I couldn't play it. So I had to always go to his house to play my game. I was like massive level on it, and I didn't want to start from scratch. But he was all right because we played it together. But as that sort of, I was probably about 15 or something. It was like I was gutted. It was like wounded because I wanted to play it all night long on my own, and then I had to play it at my mate's house. So it was like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't the VMU with the data. It just said it's locked to that system. So I couldn't carry it across. So I have no idea what they had in place. Some sort of, not DRM, but something that held it on the actual phone line and knew the IP. So that was shocking. That was a killer.
I mean, personally, I've never played one online, a Dreamcast, never.
I only played Choo Choo Rocket.
Played Quake 3 Arena.
Quake, that was great. Quake was incredible. With a mouse. Did you have the mouse and keyboard as well?
Nah, just the controller.
That made it. That was brilliant. I love that.
First
so
online
good.
porn was with the Dreamcast as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't know that.
When you loaded up, you used to get like an official like Dreamcast warning message, and it wouldn't let you proceed, and it'd be like you're trying to view whatever, and you used to have to. There was a way of kind of bypassing the parental controls in like the Dream Arena settings, but it was painful. You used to find it'd be like,
was it loading like that?
Awful.
and it's like just to see a bit of vag.
You're talking about images. You're talking about just images.
Oh yeah, God,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
would get no videos on it.
No.
You know.
I actually signed up to eBay. I got my eBay account set up through my Dreamcast.
Wow.
Nice.
Back in like 2001 or whenever it was.
Yeah.
2000.
See, I personally never bought a Dreamcast, right? Until like 8-10 years ago when I started collecting. When I first moved out of home, it was like May 2000 when I moved out of home, so I was 19. Moved in with a couple of mates, and I had a PS2. I don't know if I had it like when we moved in, but I had a PS2 while we lived there, I know. But it was like smoking weed 24/7 kind of deal. Do you know what I mean? Like I was high like all day, all night. And for some reason at that age, I only slept every other night, which is really weird, right? So like every other night I was up all night. And I remember when I moved in and I had this like stereo, you know when you have like a little mini hi-fi system when you're a kid or whatever. And I threw it out and I was like, I'm going to buy this setup. And I went down Richard Sands and I spent like fucking grand on like an amp and speakers and all this jazz. And the first thing I did was put my Mega Drive on it. Played Mega Drive through this sound system and I thought it was nuts. Yeah. But yeah, I had a PS2 and my mate had, one of my flatmates had a Dreamcast, right? And I was like, shit, yeah, this is awesome. I haven't played anything since the Mega Drive because I never even saw a Saturn. Nobody I knew had a Saturn. Never touched one. Yeah. So coming back to Sega, and he had Soul Calibur, Power Stone, MSR, Crazy Taxi, Soul Reaver, and then I think he might have had something else that I can't remember. But I used to sort of sit there stoned and watch him play Soul Reaver. But we used to play Power Stone and Soul Calibur to death, like all night, you know. And just remember just thinking this is the nuts, like this is great. And it was just such a great like social console and really good. But yeah, we never dreamed of putting it online or anything, or you know.
It's such a shame it just died though. So early. Sorry, Scott.
Did any of you guys ever have copied games, boot discs?
I had
really no.
Yeah. Because I had the Japanese system, I didn't have a way of playing the PAL games. But then they released a magazine. You remember you used to get the demo magazines?
Yeah.
One day they brought out an action replay disc. Yeah, and it allowed you to play. Yeah, they allowed you to play imports. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started buying the PAL games and playing those. But with the boot disc things, and I think my brother once got me Crazy Taxi. And it was like, I think he got it on holiday. And it was like proper printed, you know, where they spent the money and printed on the top with like a plastic coating and everything on the disc. And I was like, I never seen it before then. And then obviously when you get older, everything was just, if it was in a version 1 of the system, you could play everything.
Obviously the PS2 had a big say in what the Dreamcast did. You know what I mean? It, obviously killing it off, but the piracy on that console, because you didn't have to chip it. Do you know what I mean? Because it was quite an expensive console. The fact that he was only using a boot disc, and I mean, I knew somebody that was copying games, and I remember Virtua Tennis. I remember completing that even before it was released. Over here. I've still got my copied games even now. I mean, I've still got. I think I've only ever had about 15, 20 of them, because they used to have videos as well, didn't they? Like, was it VCDs or something?
VCD.
Used to get a lot of emulators on the Dreamcast as well, didn't you?
Nesta.
Yeah, I used to have a NES and SNES disc full of like hundreds of games, and
I must admit, I do. I absolutely loved my Dreamcast. I really did, and I do. I'd love to. I mean, because the online, they still have servers playing things.
You can use.
There is people that do it. Yeah.
I tried it not recently, but a few years back, and I was surprised. They sent me out. I actually contacted Sega, and they sent me out. Was it the Dream Key? Was that what it was called? To allow you to go online.
Yeah.
And they had a modern version, so you could still get on. But now you can buy like a Raspberry Pi that you can have modded, so you can play servers online. So you can connect it straight into that through and then go Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's it. And then, I mean, if you haven't played Phantasy Star, it's probably not everyone's cup of tea now, but back then it was mind blowing. There was nothing like it. It was like World of Warcraft, you know, the way it was.
Yeah.
And it was so social, but there was so many people hacking as well. You go on there and people will be duplicating items and dropping them and like typing, do you want some money? Like, I'll go on then, like, here's a million Mesita or whatever it was. And I was like, what? Just losing my shit. It was great. Great time.
Was it ever quite laggy though? Because I remember my only experience online was, like Scott said earlier, Choo Choo Rocket. And I remember going into the game arena, and I remember it would say, click here if you want this game. And I was like, I remember clicking there, and it came in like about 3 days later. I was like, wow, like a free game. I couldn't believe it. And I remember the lag in it. The lag was awful in Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah.
I never had any lag on any of the games I played. I think, especially with the shooters like Quake, I didn't have anything. Obviously, you could buy the broadband adapter, couldn't you, as an upgrade? But I think I never needed it. I never felt I needed it.
Broadband only come out in the US, but there was, I mean, I noticed there was quite a significant lag with Quake. So it'd be like you press it and then it fires. So it's quite hard with a first-person shooter, and but you really needed the mouse and keyboard combo. You know,
I think it depended how strong your phone line was as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Same was like when back in the day when I had my first PC, like playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and you'd be on it, and then your characters start running on the spot, and then you just teleport through the other side of the level, and you're like, right, that's it, disconnected. Or someone would call up, like ring up your mum, and you'd be like, that's my game gone. Just takes you straight offline. You're like, cheers.
You know, if you don't have the broadband adapter for the Dreamcast, which is reasonably desirable, you can phone your provider, and they'll put you in a 56k line for free, and you can just plug it in 56k.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
It was 33k, isn't it? The PAL Dreamcast.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
56k, because in the US they get 56k standard, and the broadband was additional. But over here, the broadband wasn't released, and we got 33k modems. So you can imagine now.
That's why it was so slow.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And we got.
It's Sega madness, though, again, isn't it? Because you think how advanced the Dreamcast was. It's all stuff we take for granted now. But we're talking about online gaming, you know, just the VMU, everything about the Dreamcast. They were so ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And one thing they critically got wrong was to not put a DVD
player. That was it.
Yeah.
Everyone bought it.
Because at the end of the day, that's what won Sony that console war, is because loads of kids got their first DVD player.
That was my first one as well.
I can remember the reps coming to EB and saying, right, we're going to sell Dreamcasts with a DVD player. Because they thought
I remember that.
The answer, and you could get a pack-in DVD player with your Dreamcast. But by then, you know, copy games had come on the scene. People were doing it so easy. Because Sega bragged, saying that their system couldn't be copied. They couldn't be hacked. And, you know, once they did finally hack it after about a year, was it, when the Dreamcast came out? You know, it's so easy. And that's when Sega, that was the final nail in the coffin, I think, was the copying.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if you guys can remember, but it was the actual effort they made to stop copying made it easier to copy.
Yeah.
Totally backfired.
Yeah. Totally. They got this third-party company to design the. I can't remember what the format is. Is it GD something?
GD-ROM, isn't it?
GD-ROM, yeah.
And Sega spent an absolute fortune on that, and they thought that was absolute foolproof. And that's what undone them. You know, they couldn't find a way to beat it. It couldn't be beat, so that's when they just gave up hardware.
I think even if they had put a DVD player, I don't think it would have done anything. I think the PS2 was just. I mean, you got to think the PS2 outsold the Xbox, the Cube, and the Dreamcast
Put together
combined 4-1.
Yeah.
You know, you think the Cube sold 20 mil, the Dreamcast sold 10, and the Xbox sold another 20. PS2 was like 190 million, 180 million system. You know, it was a complete domination over everything else, not just the Dreamcast.
Well, as an electrical product, isn't it? A console.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I've got a PlayStation, I've got a Sony, and that's not what they've got.
Yeah,
You hear that a lot.
You know, I don't think you ever see a console like the PS2.
No.
Again, in terms of that kind of level of, everything was just focused to the PS2. You know.
But it was once. I think it was once the Dreamcast died and Sega gave up that the PlayStation really did. It had no competition. It really didn't.
I think the final nail for the Dreamcast, I think that it was the Xbox and the Cube. I think they saw them on the horizon and they thought we can't carry on. So they might as well. The thing is, though, I mean, long term, but at least they're still going now. But you know, if they had carried on going, they would have gone bust, and then they would have been asset stripped. And now you would see, you know, Sega titles on, you know, owned here and owned here with no kind of. The company would kind of be like an Atari nowadays, which is just. It's just a byproduct of a sort of bygone generation, really. I mean, it's like a pop culture kind of reference now, isn't it? It's
we're
not
talking
really...
about it, and it's mental to think that it's 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
It makes me feel really old.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with PS3 again, didn't they? I mean, who owned DVD, the format?
Sony, wasn't it?
Was it definitely Sony? Because I know Sony owned Blu-ray, obviously.
Yeah.
And they did it with the PS3, and not only was it like, okay, I could get a Blu-ray player and a gaming system in one, but the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market.
Yeah.
So if you even weren't interested in gaming and you wanted a Blu-ray player, just fucking buy a PS3. It's genius.
I bought that when it came out, and it was the PS3 cost me $600. I bought the one with the backwards compatibility with Heavenly Sword. And it was, I was fine. I was just like, I was working, so I was like, I'll get it. That'll do me. And I played it with SCART because we didn't have a TV that was HD. So I had to play it with SCART. So, but it makes me laugh talking about DVD and that. When I used to go in Blockbusters and you'd rent a film, like a VHS, and you'd put it on and they're like, new, coming soon, DVD. Look at the quality. And I'm like, I'm watching it on a VHS. What you on about? And he used to come up and say, like, look what you could be missing. I'm like, well done. Great sales tactic. Yeah, well done. But
the PS3 was a beast, though, wasn't it? And it's funny how those early PS3s are now like the most sought after, aren't they?
I've had 3, and every single one has died.
Original PS3.
Yeah, I've had about 12.
Yeah, they just died. Fat ones.
I've had about 12, literally.
Mine's
all broken.
Mine's got yellow light, but I've got the original one that cost £600 backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
nice.
It just sits in a box. I
was playing The Last of Us for the first time with the fat PS3, and it died like midway in the game. So I got another one of them. It died again. Got the next one, and that was it. I gave up until it came out on the PS4, and then I finished it on that because I couldn't put up with it. Obviously, I've got the Slim now, the Slim PS3, but back then I was like, well, these are pretty cheap, but they're cheap because they're useless.
Yeah, they don't do well, do they?
When people see it in the car boot, they're like, oh, you should pick that up. I'm like, no, what's the point?
It's like the same with the white
Xbox 360.
It's like a 360, ain't it? Yeah.
Red light, all of them. I had loads of those.
Yeah.
We got a Dreamcast memory in the comments from Sean saying he got a Dreamcast when his mate won $3,000 on the lottery. He asked him to buy his lottery tickets. He said, "Okay, but I want 10%." So he ended up with a Dreamcast, Virtua Tennis, and Choo Choo Rocket. Virtua Tennis, what a great tennis game!
It was a great game. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Still good. Still fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Pong, basically, ain't it? It's so simple, but it's so beautiful, sort of executed as well, ain't it?
Yeah. I never got into the second one, though. I don't know why. I love the first one, but
I'd go with that as well.
Yeah.
I think because of what it was at the time, wasn't
really good on the second one.
What was?
The World Tour mode, and you do the mini games.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Hitting the targets and things.
And you could play as women as well in that one, couldn't you? If that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Williams sisters are in it, ain't they?
Oh, yeah. Just looking at the topics. Shenmue 3. Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Well, it looks like it's finally coming to fruition, doesn't it? After a long time. It's fine. I mean, they're releasing a lot of videos of it now, and You know,
How long ago was that? How long ago was the Kickstarter?
That's 4 years ago, wasn't it?
4 or 5
Yeah,
years.
Was it that
4 years
long?
ago.
I didn't even
4
know.
years. E3 2015, Yu Suzuki come out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Which is ridiculous, ain't it? You think, because
Time
at the time
flies.
it was 15 years old, and now it's nearly 20.
Yeah.
It's but
You think it's going to be any good?
I think it's going to be a product of its time, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it's going to be very. I think it's going to basically be a very kind of Dreamcasty feel, you know, a very kind of 5th generation feeling game. And I think it's going to get slated when it comes out. In terms of,
I think it will.
No doubt.
Yeah, but it's not designed for.
I think with Shenmue, I agree with Shenmue 3. If people are thinking it's going to be next gen and look amazing, they're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
It's going to stay traditional to Shenmue.
I mean, it looks like a PS3 game, doesn't it? Really, it doesn't look great. But I mean, that's it. That's at a pinch of salt, because if you compare The Last of Us, you know, that looks good. It does. Shenmue looks like a kind of a weird kind of take on modern gaming from a sort of retro perspective, really. But
I mean,
you know, I think Shenmue's a very personal game to a lot of people, and I think it's you know, it means a lot to a sort of great deal of sort of like people who play it. So I think if you're coming in without playing the others, you can't really.
I think
that's the problem for me, because when I first moved out when I was 18, I took the Dreamcast with me and I bought Shenmue from the shop, dirt cheap. It was like a £5, and I finished it and I was like, this is incredible. I love this game. And I found there was a second one, so I went straight onto that, finished that. I was like, I'm ready for the third one, because obviously it led up. Problem is, I haven't played Shenmue since then. So since I was 18, so I'm the story to me's gone. I don't know. I remember he got on a plane or something at the end, maybe. It was on a boat, and I can't remember anything apart from like driving a forklift. You know, I can't remember anything.
There's videos on YouTube where it's like just the story. So I thought when it comes out, I'm going to just watch that the night before, like a refresher of the story, because it's been it's been years since I played them as well. But
or get the HD remasters.
I can't be asked for that though.
They're very clunky.
I mean, I got this is another nice Dreamcast memory actually, of Shenmue, the original. I'd never heard of it, and I went around my mate Ollie's house, and he was living in Tooting at the time in town. And I went round to his house, which was supposed to be sort of for the night. And he goes, "Oh, I got Shenmue," I'm like, not heard of it. So we started playing that. And then the next day, he's like, I'm going to work, and I'm like, see you tonight. And I just play Shenmue literally all day. And I ended up living at his house for like 3 days, because I just played Shenmue solid for like 3 days. So it absolutely blew me away. But having said that, if someone like who was, say, 25 now said to me, I never play Shenmue, shall I play it? I'd be like, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think it's aged that well.
No.
I don't think they're going to capture an audience for that game.
No. I think if they did, they would have done it with the HD ones, wouldn't they? They would have captured those. Yeah.
It's like Resident Evil, isn't it? Like, you've got all these remakes and that now, and all these remasters, and you play it and you enjoy it. But if someone goes, "Oh, should I go back to number one?" You're like, probably you're not going to enjoy it. You might like it, but more than likely, if you've been playing the recent ones, you're probably not going to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So I think it will get slated, but I mean, it's that ending, like Half-Life. You wanted that ending, and you're like, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And it didn't come. So they were like, well, I feel now that if I release this, everyone's going to slate it. So there's no point. So that's why they don't make it. So it's going to be that same sort of, you know, people want to finish. They want the ending. They want to finish it. Unless they make another cliffhanger, then that will kill it.
It's like a cult, isn't it, Shenmue? It's like a Shenmue fan is like a cult.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of...
Shenmue back in the day didn't actually sell that well. You know, this led to, you know,
I didn't even know it
Sega
existed.
Invested so much money into that game.
Yeah.
You know, I know that the media was saying at the time it's the most expensive game ever.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, but they did invest a lot of money in that game, and that was supposed to be a system seller, and it didn't. It actually didn't do very well at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. It was just I went in the shop and saw it was like dirt cheap, and I was like, I'll have give it a go. That was the only
That's
reason
the thing.
I played it.
I hadn't heard of it until my mate goes, "Oh, I've got this game," and like you'd think that they would have put it everywhere for for you to see. I'd never heard of it, which is weird. But speaking of like games like Halo 3, Half-Life 3, where you're waiting indefinitely forever for a sequel. Have you guys seen they just announced there's a new System Shock coming out?
No, I haven't seen that.
No.
Yeah, there's a new System Shock game coming out soon, which is crazy.
That's mad.
Big surprise. Obviously, hugely influential games back in the day, but I mean
Yeah.
that must be like well over 20 years since the last one, System Shock 2.
I think they will announce that Half-Life 3,
that
aren't
was
they?
like 90s, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, that would have been. I would have thought like mid late, like the latter half of the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That was like the PC first-person shooter era, wasn't it? Like the late, sort of tail end of that. Yeah, mad.
I think you're just going to see more and more of it. You know, everyone's jumping onto this retro. They're seeing the money that's available, and they are with the whole nostalgia. And you're going to see more and more of these titles.
Yeah.
From back in the day make the surface. I really do think that.
Well, I think you see it more with Sega than anyone. You know, you look at the Sega Ages on Switch. You got the Shenmue coming out, the Streets of Rage, Panzer Dragoon. You know, those 3 titles alone. When the hell would you ever have thought you'd get a new Panzer, a new Streets, and a new Shenmue as well, all within probably 12 months of each other? It's unbelievable, to be fair.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the new Streets of Rage 4 trailer?
I think it looks really good.
I think it looks really good. It looks like it's going to play really well. I'm not sure if I bought into the graphic style.
Yeah.
I like it more now. I've thought about it, but originally when I see it, it looked like a run-of-the-mill downloadable game trying to sort of look a bit.
Yeah, it looked like a Flash game.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I think now we've had a bit of time to think about it, and with these latest trailers and that gameplay, it looks to me like it's going to play really well. It does anyway.
That's for me. It's like the proof will be in the playing.
Yeah,
for sure with a game like that. But that trailer did kind of give me some hope that it looks like it's going to play well, because the first trailer I was like, I'm not sold on this art style at all. But this next trailer I was kind of like, actually, it looks like it might be really fun.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, the company that did this did Monster World, Wonder Boy, and they did obviously you can press a button and it gives you the Master System graphics. So I wouldn't be surprised if they leave the final, maybe hidden feature is a Mega Drive view.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
And I reckon they're going to do that at the last minute. I reckon it's going to go fucking mental, and people are going to go piss themselves.
As much as I'd love that, you have to remember that Wonder Boy was an existing pixel art game, whereas they'd have to redraw the entire game for Streets of Rage 4 to achieve that. So I'd be very surprised if that was the case, although I would love it.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. I've secretly been hoping that is what they're going to announce last, because it's been in development a long time, this game.
Yeah, well, they announced it a year ago, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's been in development a lot longer before then, so you never know. I've got my fingers crossed that I'm with Sega Saturn lad there. I hope they have that button. Oh, that'd just be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, if it don't go that well, I don't know. Did you see that Sega Lord X video? I think it came out today or yesterday with the Turtles hack in Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That looks quite cool, doesn't it?
There's loads of those. There's so many of those. Like different ones.
Well, that's the whole thing with
Beats of Rage.
Beats of Rage, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's an X-Men and
Simpsons.
SNK characters in it, haven't you? And
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Check that out.
All right, let's have a little gander at the list. I think we've covered the list. So it's been 3 hours. I think we look at wrapping this up because I want to have my dinner.
Jesus.
Starving.
I'm hungry as well.
Because I had a nap before this. Scott woke me up and he was like, "Have you got the stream working?" I'm like, "Just woke up, mate." So I didn't have dinner. But yeah, anyone want to think of any final wrapping up topics that we could cover?
So it's Tokyo Game Show at the moment, and Sega have just shown Yakuza 7 I don't know if any of you guys have played any of the Yakuzas.
Never got into them myself.
No.
That's a top.
They're supposed to be good though.
That's a
Yeah, they
topic
are
in itself. How do you pronounce that word? It's a topic in itself, isn't it?
What's that?
Yeah.
The Yakuza. How do you pronounce it?
Oh yeah.
Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yakuza.
Well, I think generally people say Yakuza, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
They're very good games.
I'd say Yakuza, but I've never played one.
They're brilliant.
They are good.
They're really good.
They are really
games. I've not
They
played
look
all of
awesome.
them, but
They're like Shenmue's spiritual successor, basically, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're a lot more they're a lot more open world than Shenmue. Shenmue's quite a linear game. Despite the fact it feels open world, Yakuza is very, very open. Obviously it's a lot more violent, a lot more darker than Shenmue.
So, on the topic of how do you pronounce stuff, Craig's saying dinner or tea, and bearing in mind most of us, we're all Southerners. It's fucking dinner, mate.
Dinner.
Right?
Tea you drink.
Do you know
Exactly.
what? Do you know what winds me up about this conversation is, and I'm in good company here because we're all Southern. Whenever you say that dinner in the evening is dinner, right? People will say, well, they call them dinner ladies for a reason. As in, when you have your lunch, it's a dinner lady, right? Yeah, but you call it a fucking lunchbox for a reason. End of story.
And you take someone out for a candlelit dinner, not a candlelit tea.
Exactly. Do you want to go
Exactly.
out for candlelit tea, love? It's because up north there are too poor to take people out for dinner anyway, so.
They literally go for tea, don't they?
Oh dear. Yeah, that's a bone of contention. We won't get onto the subject of bread rolls.
Oh no.
Oh, please
All of us rich Southerners.
Yeah, exactly. We are like proper minted down here, aren't we?
I think the annual wage up there per year is still 20 grand, ain't it? 20 grand.
Yeah.
Past
That's.
Birmingham.
I mean, it's a funny thing that I think like a perception of like wealth for Southerners versus Northerners. I think a lot of Northern people don't realise how much it costs to just literally exist down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
I was
God,
going to say that.
it's horrible.
Cost of living is unbelievable.
Well, when we went to Arcade Club and we went into the local Weatherspoons and it's £2 a pint,
Yeah.
that says it all, really. And I nearly had a heart attack when I saw that.
Yeah. Remember I was at Play Blackpool like one year, years ago, and I can't remember, I was at the bar with some other YouTuber, it was Northern, and I ordered like a round of drinks, and it's peanuts. And he goes, fucking hell. And I go, I know, right? And he goes, it's well expensive. And I go, oh, I was saying fucking hell because it's cheap as fuck. Like, what the hell?
£10 water.
Yeah. You're like, Arcade Club, you can go nuts and just buy a massive round and not, like, I think I bought like 11 drinks and it's like 27 quid. It's like, that's 4
Now
pints
that
down
costs you
there.
For about 2 here.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I went out in London recently, right? And we went to this place. Forget where it was in London. I went to the bar, and there were 6 of us. And I go, "Can I have 6 gin and tonics, please?" And she goes, "Yeah, that's 86 quid." And I just didn't even blink, and I just gave her my card. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's London. Like that's just
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
fucked, isn't it? Sorry to veer off topic there, but Steve's calling us Southern softies in the comments. So.
Oh dear.
He can afford his trainers, though, can't he?
Yeah, there you go.
I think.
Steve said he bought 100 shots at Arcade Club. And that was just for him.
Yeah.
Steve, I'll tell you a funny story about Steve. Sorry, Steve, if this is going to embarrass you, but I'm sure it isn't because it's hilarious. But when was at Play Manchester one year, we went to they got this Namco arcade in the what's that big shopping centre in
Trafford Centre, right?
Yeah, in the Trafford Centre, right? We went to this Namco arcade, and Steve was ratted, absolutely fucked, right? And he went up to the bar and he goes, "I have 6 pints or whatever it was, or 8 pints," and they put them all on a tray. And I was right across the room, and I was thinking, "Do not fucking put those on a tray." for him to carry. And sure enough, he picks up the tray, and takes literally one step and then it's just smashed glass and beer all over the floor. It's brilliant.
No, brilliant.
Oh dear, classic.
Okay.
But yeah, Blackpool guys soon.
Yeah,
Some of you'll be there. That'll be good. But if this arcade club thing doesn't emerge from someone else, we should all sort of stir it up and make it happen early next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Good meet.
What's that? Sorry.
An arcade club meet next year. Definitely make it happen if Daz doesn't organise it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd still like to see Daz there because he's still doing his videos. But hopefully, if he doesn't take the ball by the horns, then hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll still come along, won't he?
Yeah.
yeah. I thought so.
Cool. Let's wrap it up, guys. Thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
Scott, Steve, and Kev.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you on. Yeah,
Cheers.
good fun. But yeah, it's been I think 3 hours is a long one. I'm absolutely ravenous. Got to go and dig through the cupboards and see what food there is. But
Nice one.
yeah, it's been too long since we did one of these, so hopefully we'll do one, soon rather than later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would be good.
This StreamYard thing seems pretty easy to use, so
Yeah, I think we probably need to promote it a bit more as well.
yeah,
The chat has been quite quiet. We've had busier nights, but it's been quite
yeah, we need to hype it up and sort of get a bit more organised next time. But life's very busy for me at the moment, so it's kind of like, I've just realised, a few days before that I'm going to be free or whatever. But but yeah, that's life, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so guys, let's wrap up.
No worries.
Kev, what you got coming? Tell us what you got coming on your channel.
Oh wow, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I'm going to the car boot Sunday, so probably try and get an episode out. But as people say, they're like, "When's the episode coming out?" And I'm like, "It's pure luck. You go and you see what you see, and sometimes you can go and, as Sega Saturn lad, goes and sees some amazing stuff. If you can just spend like 10 minutes at one stall, that's enough footage to an episode. But if you're walking around and you're like, oh, rubbish PS2 tiles and we see nothing. So hopefully that. But yeah, but the season's wrapping up, so then it's going to be dead. So probably me just playing games on my own. Everyone will be unsubbing like, oh, he's got no car boot episodes out, and he's like, we're snowing, mate. And you're like, no, see ya. So yeah.
So if any of the 9 people watching aren't subbed to Kev, head on over and check him out. Car Boot Business coming soon. Yeah. Scott Sega Zombie, what you got going on?
Spectrum. It's all about the Spectrum for me at the minute. So I've got some more Spectrum videos planned, some Amiga videos.
Nice.
Some Amiga stuff I want to do, and there'll be a pickups video, not too long.
And what about? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah, the 16-bit wars are starting to take shape, so hopefully there'll be more on that real soon.
Looking forward to that. I heard you got a sick intro for that.
I have,
By Mr. Intro himself.
Yeah. No, yeah, looking forward to that. That'd be a good one. Steve, what are you saying? What's happening?
I wasn't saying anything, was I?
No, I'm saying what you got going on. It's what the kids say for what you're doing.
I wouldn't know about all that.
Yeah.
No. I want to get out a Dreamcast video. I was going to put my favourite games in there. I wanted to get a Vectrex video out, like reasons to own a Vectrex in 2019.
Oh,
2020 now. Obviously, I'll do my regular pickups monthly video, and that's about it. I think that's about it.
Cool. I need to do a Vectrex on the UV frame and all that. I want to like show both of them.
How are you getting on with the 12-volt one?
I think I prefer it. I think I might shift the 5-volt one.
I tell you what, that adapter.
Yeah.
I've got an issue with my one. Like blew up and like tripped my game room out. So be a little bit. Don't leave it unoccupied.
Oh, I don't. I turn like literally the whole game room off when I leave the room.
Yeah, so
Jesus Christ.
I was a little bit worried about that one. So I'm going to get another adapter, but I haven't really used a 12-volt one for that very reason.
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully it'll blow up live on video and it'll make an entertaining video. And Scott, Saturn lad, what are you saying? You got anything happening?
Booted tomorrow,
Nice.
so hopefully we'll get another box mask system. This time for £9.
Hope so.
Empire, Neo Geo.
Yeah, Multi-Mega box one.
Yeah,
Mint,
hopefully.
sealed. Shipping crate
Yeah.
full of them.
Hopefully that Nintendo PlayStation is hanging around in Essex somewhere.
Yeah, box full of £50 notes for a tenner.
Yeah. No, so
Yeah.
I went to we went to CEX. So last two car boots have been 360, Wii, stack of games, DS's, and I spent 60 quid and I turned it into £240 in CEX credit.
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've been on a Mega Drive real spend up recently. So we obviously bought Castlevania. Recently just got Sunset Riders as well and Sparkster. So we've got some nice titles coming through recently.
Awesome.
So it's just focusing on that. I mean, like I said, I've had my fun with the Dreamcast and Saturn. I've kind of got everything that I want really on it. So it was time to just sort of focus on something a bit different, really. But
So
there's always stuff.
Your last video, actually, you got some really nice Mega Drive pickups from CX Trade.
Yeah. I know people moan about CX and claim it's the evil of the hobby, but it really ain't. I mean, it's getting it back into the consciousness, and if you can move on XYZ crap and get what you want to get, I'm all for it. And I think the CX, yes, all right, you do get the rubbish sometimes, but I think CX is quite a well-oiled machine in terms of their efficiency. They're up to date with prices. They're quite reasonable with their prices as well. And they give good credit as well. I think they promote you to try and get them to spend in store, don't they? Really, rather than take
big difference.
Cash. Yeah, and I mean, if you're a retro collector or if they're modern as well, it's a great way of getting up. I want to get Bloodstained. I also want to get Samurai Showdown on the PS4. I don't want to pay full price for them at the moment, so it is just a case of working the CX through there. It's not always for retro, so can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying before we went live, I was saying that I was in CX today because I've been doing a few booters recently, and because I'm after this gimbal thing. It's like they're like about $550 new, silly money, but CX do them $350. Yeah. And I got like whatever it was, £400 or £500 voucher for I paid next to nothing at the booter, so I'm going to get this gimbal next to nothing, and it's like for camera equipment and lenses and stuff. If you disregard retro, you can get all this stuff for really good prices. And I can't
things like. I'm sorry, but even things like you don't expect, like portable DVD players, you can buy them from a boot sale that kids probably had for like £1, and CX give you 20 quid credit on it. And
I bought one £4 that some old granny wanted, and it's 16 quid trade-in, little DVD player thing. So always have a look at those. Yeah,
Zumba's one as well. Zumba on the Wii U, I think it's like 70 trade-in.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. It's worth a fortune on that, and it's like you'll see that for £1, £2.
Yeah.
It's the thing that gets on my nerves is people on Facebook. They love to moan about CX. They love to bitch about the condition of stuff that's come through in the post. They love to point out if there's a fake game on display. They love to display. They love to bitch and moan if there's a copy of a repo inlay, and it's just like. Right, okay, so if something comes through that it's fake, take it back, they don't dispute it. If something's poor condition, take it back, they don't dispute it. If they've got a repo inlay, it's because some little oik has nicked the original copy, and it's quite clearly marked on the inside of it, reproduction. They're not fake, they're not doing it to try and do one over the customer. They do it for a reason. And it's just that people love to moan about CEX, people love to bitch and moan. And I'm not a CEX cheerleader in any respect, but I see them for what they are. You know, the young kids working in a
they don't know what half this stuff is. They have no idea.
You know, they're not earning huge amounts of money, so they're not going to be clued up on. You know, we're all nerds when it comes to look, this Mega Drive game is not real. You know, they're not going to necessarily know that. It's
you literally cannot lose.
Yeah.
With that system. So like if you go in and you buy a game, you have 2 days to return that game for any reason. So you could complete that game in 2 days and return it, and they'll give you your money back, no quibble.
Yeah.
Like anything you buy, you can return. There's no losing there. It's like eBay when you have the PayPal protection. Like, I remember years ago there was this laptop deal, and it was like some Alienware laptop, and I knew it was a scam, but I thought, fuck it, I'll just buy it. If it's a scam, I'll get my money back with PayPal, and it was a scam, and I got my money back. You can't lose. So what's the problem with CEX? You just take the stuff back, and they're not going to fucking, query anything.
Play the game, ain't you? You got to play
I know.
game. You know, you got to take the rough with the smooth and just use it for what it is. And like you said, you get your money back. I don't get why people moan about it. If you get a counterfeit, if you get something faulty, take the bloody thing back. I
mean, a good example is we're kind of talking more common stuff, modern and common retro, Mega Drive and SNES and 64 and PlayStation. But I mean, ain't being funny, but it's getting things like Neo Geo Pocket, Atari Jaguar, 32X back in the market, Mega CD. This sort of stuff would be lost, and this sort of stuff would only be available on eBay.
eBay only,
especially Neo Geo Pocket. That's tiny market. But yet, if you trade in all of that crap, you can get Evolution, or Cotton on the, Neo Geo Pocket when it becomes available, or if it becomes available, for a couple of quid. And it's like, I don't see the harm that it's doing personally. I really don't.
Do you guys find it weird that they skipped Game Boy Color?
Yeah, that's a weird one. I looked on there. I was like, I'm going to get some. I was going to get Wario. I was looking for the Resident Evil Gaiden. And
this is how clueless some of them are. I was in Hemel Hempstead today, right, not far from you, Kev, and I had a load of stuff trading in, and the guy was testing, and then the guy was serving me, and the guy testing goes, oh, blah 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 blah, do we something Game Boy Color? And the guy goes, I don't know. So I go, oh, you guys don't take Game Boy Color, like I'm telling them. Do you know what I mean? And he goes, we don't. And I go, no, for some reason, the CEX weirdly skipped to Game Boy Color. And he goes, oh, thanks, right? And then he went back to his testing. And the guy's going through my pile of car boot stuff, which is like, it took me like fucking 40 minutes. It's just endless stuff. And he gets this Game Boy Pocket, yellow one, right? And he goes, we don't take that. And he just puts it down. And I go, why don't you take it? It's on the website. And he goes, no, it isn't. And I go, yeah, it is. And he goes, we don't take Game Boy Color. And I go, I just told you that. Like 10 minutes ago, I told you that you don't take Game Boy Color. And he goes, yeah. And I go, that's a Game Boy Pocket, mate. Look it up. And then he looked it up and he's like, okay, it's 26 quid. And I'm like, thank you very much. Sorry, Scott, to interrupt, but we got a legend in the house. Dal, Retro Godfather.
What a legend.
What an absolute legend. Yeah. Dal, you're going to be in Blackpool? I do hope so. Hope so. Sorry, Scott, carry on.
I love Dale. Me and him, we were buddies driving up to Arcade Club. What a ledge! He's when you first meet Dale, he's not a man of many words, but when you get to know him, break him down a little bit, he doesn't shut up. He loves his retro. Yeah, he's a top guy.
Amazing collection.
Yeah, shame he hasn't done a video for quite a while, but got a lot of time for Dale. He's a lovely lad.
Yeah, me too. What were you going to say, Scott? Sorry, when I was talking about Game Boy Pocket and stuff.
This was before CX did retro, and but they still did PS2 PS2 Cube and Xbox, so OG Xbox. And I just said to the guy, I said, "Do you ever get a Dreamcast in? Because it's same generation." And he looked at me and he was like, what's a Dreamcast?
Wow, yeah.
I was like, mate, I said, it's like the PS2 competitor. I don't know, mate. That kind of, but like I said, you got to look at it, young lad,
the kids,
university. Yeah. He's not going to know.
Yeah, it's fair enough, isn't it? Like I said earlier, like they have to learn all the OSs for like the tablets and the phones and everything because they have to test them. They can't be expected to know everything, you know.
No, exactly, and they get traded in. Like you say, it's such a wide variety of stuff, isn't it? It's
scumbags doing it though. It's the scumbags bringing in the fakes because they know they're fake.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, like Game Boy Advance. They're so like spot on with their fakes. The European ones, like the Castlevanians of that, and you just like there's no. I would not suggest to buy any Game Boy Advance unless it's the proper low end titles, like the proper low end stuff. Anything that's high end, like there's no Kirby's Amazing Mirror on eBay, but then they've got 13 copies in CEX. Yeah. It's obviously the £4 fakes from China. But they don't know. And I've said to them before, have you got screwdrivers? And they're like, no, they don't give us anything. So you can't blame them. They would look in if they could as well, but they just don't give them the tools either. So scumbags.
Like Scott, Sega Zombie will back me up on this. Like occasionally you'll get someone on one of the groups saying, "Oh, I just shopped a load of AliExpress copies of it into CX," both, and we'll just ban them straight away. It's like fuck you. Yeah,
scummy thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think we've all played the game where we're bringing up, better conditioned stuff. But I'll always remember the video of Ian McGrath, who obviously doesn't really do YouTube anymore, but he was he was doing his CEX unboxing, and he bought Alien versus Predator.
Was it the box
on the SNES? Yeah, on the SNES.
Yeah.
And he opened it, and it was like Alien 3 on the cart or something ridiculous, or he put it in and it wasn't even the game.
Yeah,
it was like I know it was like a cheap.
He had that a few times. Did he get the same game again and again at one point? Wasn't that what he was doing? Yeah,
but it was they've improved a hell of a lot. Mine's
pretty good. Like they're pretty and they're friendly. Like you get to know them and you say, "Oh, can I check the game and see if it's legit?" So you can feel it and stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, bring it out." And they're all pretty good like that. But at the beginning, that mine had like a window full of Super Nintendo games. All the boxes were German, and they were obviously reproduction boxes. And they just printed them off. They had the big box Metroid, the big box, and they had it in a window. Loads of money. It was like 200 quid or something stupid. And they were like, "Oh, mint condition." I'm like, "It's fake." It's like the picture on the front was diagonal. And now the stuff's all changed. Like it was diagonal and German. And I was like. It's all been but now it's a lot better. Like I haven't seen any fakes in mine for a long time.
Steve, Mr. Retro and Lim himself is in the house.
Everyone's coming in now, ain't they?
Yeah.
I've not actually said this to anyone officially, but I'm thanks to Steve, I'm going to be on a panel at Play Blackpool.
Nice.
If you guys come and support me, that'd be awesome because I'm a bit nervous.
Who's on the panel?
So who's on the panel? So I think DJ Slope is hosting the panel. There's going to be Jason Bradbury from the Gadget Show.
Oh, nice.
There's going to be Ian Lee from the 11 o'clock show.
Oh yeah.
And then there's going to be a few of us tubers from Retro and Lim on there, so it should be good fun. But yeah, I'm always nervous. Like I'm nervous doing this because it's live and I never know what I'm going to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I can edit out stuff when on my other stuff. I can't be trusted live,
What, like Woodland?
Yeah, like Woodland. Like fuck having Woodland on a stream.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! I've learned that from first-hand experience.
Yeah. But he seems to be back, doesn't he? He's now doing he's not. He doesn't seem to be doing his weird videos. He seems to actually have a pickups video.
Yeah, I enjoyed that video of him showing
quite
his
nice to see him
stuff.
actually talking about games.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah. As much as he's annoying, like pain in the arse on stream, I do like Woodland. He's good fun.
Yeah, he was like one of the OG tubers when I first started watching him and Tootie.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good topic. Who did what kind of tubers did you watch early on or before you even started?
Yeah.
You know?
So I started watching Ryan Shand.
Oh yeah.
Yes, who's still doing it now. I don't think anyone really watches him. You've got obviously Tootie, Woodland. I think Dave was hanging around, Retro Dave.
Wasn't Ian Jury as well? Ian Jury's been
yeah.
around for quite a while.
Yeah.
Is that Herbie asked 007?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He hasn't done anything for a while though, has he?
Nah, years
Nah,
now, I
busy
think.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Classic Games Room as well. That was kind of the first big channel that I first sort of got into. But the guy who he's completely gone off the radar now. He's gone to Amazon, hasn't he?
Mark, his name is.
Yeah, and I think he lost a lot of his audience when he started trying to promote and trying to force his drawings and his comics, and and now when he gags can, it was a bit of a one-trick pony when he just started. It was like constant gags about Cosmic Carnage and Truxton, and it was like in every video, and it was just the quality really suffered.
Yeah, I don't watch any of his stuff anymore, really. But
nah, what is this? All behind Amazon Prime now, isn't it? So.
Well, it's the same. I started watching.
Yeah, I think he is, Steve.
Sorry, Scott.
I started watching American YouTubers, really, like Classic Games Room and Metal Jesus. I used to watch him really early on, and then it weren't until I stumbled across you, Pete, and Gruss Newton and Sega Staten Lad, that I realised there was a massive UK scene. And then I was like, look, I don't really watch many American channels now as much. It's all about the UK scene to me, really.
So I remember when I was selling off my PAL Saturn stuff, Scott, and you bought a couple of games from me. And I remember saying to you, you should start YouTube, you should get a channel.
Yeah.
And, 2-3 years later, here you are. I think it's even longer than that.
I moaned at Scott for ages about fucking getting on YouTube.
I can remember Scott saying to me when I was buying the PAL games off him, he said, do YouTube. And I kept saying, yeah, I might do, because I was so into Facebook and the groups.
Yeah.
And then, it's you, Pete, and Russ just kept saying, do a channel. So, yeah.
But I think when you look at the Facebook groups, you realise just how many guys are out there with, collections that would dwarf all of ours. And some amazing setups, but they sort of hide it behind.
Keep it hidden.
They're not. Maybe it's just a camera thing.
It's like it's Mark Horsburgh always says, real collectors don't make videos, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. But you've got, there's so many. But on the flip side, you have got people like Scott who have come out and started his own channel and grown. You've got Faith as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's another who's big in the scene. Those Scott and Faith are like the only two that sort of stick into my mind that have sort of really kind of evolved from sort of Facebook into YouTube. Really.
Yeah. I think it's like a natural progression, isn't it?
You think a Ben Boyd video on how he does his creations and videoing it and a time lapse, that would be amazing.
Yeah. See, Ben's collection is actually nuts, but nobody ever sees it because it's all stashed away in the loft or whatever.
And there's another guy, I ain't going to say his name because I know he doesn't like it, but there's a guy that has a collection that would blow everyone away. It's the biggest collection I've ever seen, and if he was to do YouTube, it would just be amazing. But I try and get him to do it, and maybe one day he will hit the tubes, but his collection is something else.
You need to have a camera presence as well, though, don't you? I think to carry a channel, it
does take a bit of balls, like getting on camera.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My first video, if you go back and watch my first video, fucking hell, it's like a train wreck. Because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Watch my early videos.
Nor can I. It's embarrassing. It's so cringe. I think on my second video, it was like a pickups, and I got my guitar, and I'm like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Fucking hell, that's just cringe." Oh dear. But yeah,
my early videos, I wouldn't go in front of the camera because I was trying to build my confidence up. And I look back at the first video on camera, and it looks like I'm just shitting myself. I'm just so scared, and I just can't watch it. It's terrible.
You probably are shitting yourself. I was.
I was really nervous.
The thing is, you sit in a room talking to yourself.
Yeah.
About quite a nerdy kind of thing, and you're like, "What the hell am I doing?" 36 years old.
Steve saying hasn't changed, Pete. Thanks a fucking lot, Steve. Cheers, mate.
He's one who hides behind the camera, so he can't talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. No one knows who Mr. Retron Lim is.
I mean, I'm rarely on camera these days, but I always love when I get to get on camera. I love it. I love it now because you know what it is. Like when you start doing YouTube and you're talking to like you said, you're talking to yourself in a room. But then once you start getting to know people in the community, you're kind of talking to them.
Yeah.
And it's less mental, you know.
Yeah. I always look at it as that I'm talking to people as if they're in the room with me and we're talking about games. That's how
exactly. And you pick. Everybody mentions each other, and occasionally, I don't know if you guys get these comments, but I get comments like, "Oh, I like the way everybody in sort of the UK community talks about each other."
Yeah.
And you'll say, "Oh, so and so put me onto this game. So and so sent me this game, or so and so mentioned this game in a video, and it made me want to get it." Or we all talk about each other all the time, and that's like a nice thing. And someone wrote in the comments on my video once, because I reply to all the comments, and they're like, "How do you know everybody's name in the comments?" And it's like, 'cause we all know each other, we all watch each other's stuff,
Yeah. When I do a video, I imagine I'm talking to people I know. I don't really see the bigger picture, and but Kieran's just made a good comment. He says he finds talking to a camera so much better than people in real life, I guess.
That's fair enough, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done a lot for people. I mean, I've never been a socially awkward person, but some people who do YouTube are.
I'm terrible.
Yeah, so you've got
So it's opened me up more. It's given me more confidence, and I was on. Kieran was as well. Kieran has his issues, and he keeps quiet. And when he does YouTube, it's more like a way of interacting with people. If you see him in the street, you're not going to say anything. But if you see him on a live stream, you're like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Oh, how you doing? I ain't seen you for a while." But the only thing I find now is when I started, I'd play a game. I'd be like, "Oh, let's have a Friday night NES game and have 10 people." But now I spend more time reading the comments and interacting with people than playing the game. So it's just on pause, and I'm sitting there reading comments. And now I just give up with the gaming and just chat to people because, with Gruss, when he does his live streams, I used to enjoy coming on just to chat to everyone else who's in the same sort of things, and it just made it feel like you're welcomed.
Yeah, half the time I don't even watch this bloody stream. I'm just chatting.
Don't watch it. Yeah, just chat.
Yeah,
I miss Grust's channel, man. Really miss it.
I really miss Gruss. I really miss his channel.
I keep saying to him, please come back, man, because he was one of the ones I watched early on that really inspired me to start.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, come back, definitely.
He's a good lad. He's
great. Lad. He's great, Russ.
Bit of a pervert, but he's a good lad.
Yeah, he's a sex pest, but he's a good lad.
YouTube scandal.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking hell.
I've never seen Russ sober.
Yeah, that's it.
He's always gone.
So he's fucked, isn't he? Sean's made a good comment, good point. A good collection doesn't have to be every game. I prefer a well-curated game over just massive numbers of games. I totally agree with that. I think early on when I started YouTube, and I, like we were saying earlier, I was in that phase of just buying everything willy-nilly. And I used to watch these channels where it's just I will buy everything, and I'd be like, wow, great collection.
Yeah.
But now I look at collections that are smaller, but they're really quality over quantity, and I'm like, that is wicked collection.
Yeah. I think Stu too at UK is the kind of unique point with Stu is his personality, isn't he? Because he's such a character, and he delivers stories so well.
Yeah.
And he is when he's talking to camera, it's like he's talking to you personally. And I enjoy watching Stu pick up Call of Duty, and I enjoy watching Stu finding, because he's just got that way. Whereas, I think whilst Kev does the car boots videos, they're live. I think it's very difficult to carry a channel just solely based on what you're picking up at a car boot without showing that footage.
Yeah, you have.
I think I'd go along with that because I mean, my videos don't get a hell of a lot of views, but I think it's either you have that personality or you do the live action kind of thing, really.
Yeah, I think a lot
of
of
personality.
Not at all.
But yeah,
I think
when you're at
you show the pickups, and it's sort of like you're with the people. Like I don't do car boot. Obviously I do the car boots to get myself some stuff. But like, if in my head I'm like, I hope I see a lot of footage today, just so other people can enjoy it and watch it with me, and comment and chat with them. Whereas like, if you go to a day and you may just go find, I don't know, say you found a box Super Nintendo, you just got one thing and it's like 2 minutes of footage. I'd rather there be 15 minutes of like seeing random stuff or just chatting to random people or whatever. Because you get noticed at the car boot as well. Obviously, doing car boots, you get people that go to car boots who watch car boot videos. So they're like, "Oh, you're Kev, how you doing?" And it's been weird. I've been recognised in McDonald's and things like that. And like, yeah, it's weird. You just get this random thing. So it's pretty cool. And as you say, the world's small and there's a lot of people into the same stuff you're in. But like with Tootie, it's proper storytelling. That's what it is with him.
Tales from the booter, isn't it? That's what it's about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They could just sit down and have a pint with him, and he's just chatting.
So he went through a month of not doing videos recently, and I think that's the longest I've not seen a Stu video. And I was like, where is Stu?
I think
get used to
that conservatory kills him.
Yeah,
like that. Mine is like 60 odd degrees.
I tell you what, right? I went to Stu's house to do an episode of In the House, right? And I turn up at the door, and he says, "You're the first person to ever come here," which really surprised me. And we filmed in the conservatory, and outside it was like cold, like not like winter cold, but cool. Like you wouldn't wear a t-shirt, you'd maybe wear a jumper, sort of weather, right? It was cool.
Yeah.
In the conservatory, it was like a fucking sauna, and I was literally dripping with sweat. No joke, right?
Horrible.
So imagine like how his is like in summer with sun.
Mine's shocking. I keep my soldering iron in there, right? And it's melted solder out there. And I went out and I was like, I can't even touch it. It's so hot. And you walk in there and you instantly feel it. Like, when you get off a plane like in Spain, you feel the heat hit you for the first time. But like 10 times that, it's like, Jesus, like horrible.
Wow.
Seeing him sit there and do a video for like 40 minutes, I'd have to have like a fridge, sitting in a fridge, like, I couldn't do it. It's so
I love
hot.
the way he has the thermometer in the background.
Oh yeah, you see it going up. You see it going up, and he's just sweating.
So you know how much he's suffering. But I think a lot of newcomers think that they can build a channel on just going, I went to car boot and I bought this, I bought this, I bought this, and it's just a list of stuff. And it's like that's not enough for me personally. Like, either make it interesting, like a story, like you, Kev, right? So you've got like the story element. You show us what happened. It's like we're with you at the car boot, right? Or show me pickups that you actually have a passion about or you care about, or whatever. Or there's an end game, like Scott's last video, like, I bought some shit I'm not that interested in, but it's a means to an end, and you've got this wicked fucking high-end Mega Drive games, but like people who just show stuff that's just basically tat. I don't get those videos really.
Because I've had people comment and say, why are you picking up this crap at the car boot? Who wants it? Why do you want old games? And I'm like, because there's like 200 quid's worth of stuff there for a tenner. That's why I'm picking it up. That's why. And they're like, oh, I didn't realise. A nice video. And then that's why people were saying, can you put like the CEX thing popping up and saying prices? So I've started doing it. And then other people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's going to change it. Everyone's going to be clocking onto it. I'm like, mate, they're already on it. People have known about this for ages. If they're not bothered. Everyone's on the CEX game.
You notice that? Thing. I think, was it you, Scott, said this in your video, that how much the arse has fallen out of this 360 stuff at the moment?
Yeah.
Minecraft dropped massively, didn't it? But now it's gone up a little bit, I think. It was like 4 quid or 3 quid, and it's crept up a bit.
I spent probably about £10 to £13 on 360 games, and I think there's about 20 in there. And I think I lost money on about half of them.
Wow.
I mean, we're only talking like 50p or so, but when you're only buying them for £1, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you want to try and avoid.
You want to double your money at least.
Yeah, the only thing that's got money in it is like
PS3's got money.
Some PS3
Toy Story and stuff like that.
The Nintendo first party stuff on the Wii. Anything else, just avoid. To be honest, there's more money in hardware, like controllers, consoles.
Yeah,
There's more money. There's more money.
Wii
in
U
that.
surprising. I thought Wii U would be killer, and it's worthless. Like
Yeah, it
absolutely
really is,
worthless compared to you think. Oh, you see a Mario Kart. You think, oh, I'll pay a $5 for that and trade it in. You go in, and you get like £4 or something. So
Wow.
this a lot of the stuff's worthless on Wii U. So
I found some Switch stuff at the car boot last week, which was nice, like dirt cheap.
I've not seen any of that yet.
Yeah, that was good. This kid had Mario Kart for £6, and I'm like, how much do you want for that? And he says £6. So I don't bother haggling. I'm just like, here's £6. And he looks so happy, and his mum's like, see, I told you you'd sell it, and he was well chuffed. And I get home and I tell the missus, I found it for £6. She goes, you can't. You should have offered him more money.
I had a similar story, right? So I picked up these amiibos, and they were quite rare Pokemon amiibos, and the kid had them all lined up with his Skylanders. And I said to the kid, I was like, how much do you want for your toys, mate? And he's like, 50p each. And I'm like, fucking hell. There's nearly like £45 worth of amiibos, you know, in 4 amiibos here at CX. And I was just like, yeah, all right, there's £2. And I did walk away, and I was thinking, fuck, how can I do that to a little kid? And that's the only time I've ever felt guilty at a car boot. You know, I can deal with adults, but I can't be ripping off kids. I think it's hard.
That's what they ask though, because like you get parents who pay. They'll say like, "Oh, that's £1," and they're like, "No, it's not. It's £2." And then the kid will be like, "Oh, right then," and then they just go along with it, so they're not really bothered. The parents are ruthless. They literally will go into the kid's bedroom, raid the drawers, chuck it in a box, and just take it to the car boot, and the kids don't even know. You've seen it before. You go to buy something, they're like, "What are you selling that for, Mum? I'll play that still." And like, "No, you don't. Let's go in." You're like,
"Yeah,
okay."
Cold. I always find it funny, like the traders. You know, you get these traders who have just like they're basically a shop at the car boot, which is just pointless. So like, I'm not even looking at your stall, whatever, and they wrote their kids in to fucking basically work. It's like slave labor for free, child slave labor. It's like you're dragging this kid at 6 a.m. on a Saturday to like help you sell games. How cold is that?
Yeah. There's a couple of guys there that literally run around the car boot like blue ass flies. Anything sort of Power Rangers, WWE, Ninja Turtles, Nickelodeon toys, anything that's like remotely kind of like wanting to collectible. And they'll pick it up and then they'll fuck off to their own stall and they're like,
put it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think, how can you do that? How can you do that?
There's a guy at ours that does that.
Takes the piss.
Does my head in.
I did a video and I filmed a guy once in one of my early episodes. I don't know if you ever see it, but like I went up to his stall and I got an arcade stick. It was a 360 one. I was like, I was well happy with that. And then she had loads of stuff coming out and this guy's putting in a wheelbarrow. I'm like, what's going on there? And he's like, oh, this guy's bought it all. So I was like, oh, right, result. And then he walks up the road, puts it on his stall. So I follow him and I watch him put it all out. And I'm like, all right, mate, how much your Xbox? He's like, £15. He's just paid nothing for loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does it all work? Yeah, got it out of the attic, tested it this morning. I'm like, bullshit. See you pick it up down there. And it's on video as well. It's quality. I was like, yeah, well done, mate.
What did he say to that?
Nothing. That was it. You see him down the thing. Literally just walk about 5 stalls up and put it on his stall. But a wheelbarrow full of it, loads of it. Just come up with it.
Jesus.
There's some bastards
unreal.
There really is.
There's Kieran saying he bought a 3DS from the car boot and the lady said she took it out of her daughter's drawer without her knowing and he felt pretty bad, but he still bought it, didn't you, Kieran, you scum?
I think it was a limited edition Pokemon as well. It was like £2 or something, I think. It might be that one. I'm not too sure. It was like a limited edition one. She's like, oh, I feel so bad. Oh, well, let's go.
It is hard, though. It is hard. Yeah.
You got to learn that lesson at some point when you're a kid.
I mean, it's all happened to everyone, isn't it? I mean, I moved out of the house and my mum said, do you want this stuff? And I've been like, nah, don't worry about it. It's all good. And then I realised what was in there. And it's like everything from my childhood, my Spectrum and there's everything, all my comic books, Club Nintendo magazines, every single one, all gone. And I'm like, oh, where is it? And she's like, oh, I threw it all away. Like, and it's gone. But you're 18 and you didn't care and you're on the piss and stuff. So
yeah.
No.
It's like my parents' loft is this like impenetrable labyrinth of bin bags and boxes, right? Fuck knows what's in there. And I always think when they pop off, you know, God forbid, that God knows what I'm going to find up there from childhood. They came down the other week with this bag of toys, and it's this bag of soft toys, right? And they come down with this bin bag, and they open it, and they say to me and my sister, "What's this stuff?" And it was neither of ours from childhood. Don't know where it came from. And we're like, we have no fucking clue what that is.
When me and my girlfriend we started dating, we went to see her old nan, and I was trying to find the toilet. This is the first time I'd been around her nan's house. I was trying to find the loo upstairs and went in one of the bedrooms. And she's just an old girl who lives by herself. And I sort of opened the door and I'm like, oh, this is bedroom. And then in the corner there's a CRT and she's got a Mega Drive and a Mega CD1 next to it. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck is that doing there? And bear in mind, me and my girlfriend, we'd only been together like 3-4 weeks or something. And I thought like, oh, what's that doing there? So, you know, was there for an hour or so. And when we were driving back, I was like, what's your nan doing with like a Mega Drive? And she goes, I don't know. She says that it was my granddad's, you know, he's dead and we used to play it as a kid. And I thought, oh, okay. So, you know, hadn't really got to the point where I was like, does your nan want it? I'll have it. So it got to like maybe 2 or 3 months down the line and I was like, right, I'm going to ask, like, you know, does you, you know, say, ask your nan if she wants that. And it weren't there. And I'm like, where the fuck's Mega Drive gone? Where's it gone? And I text like now my brother-in-law and I was like, where's the Mega Drive gone? He goes, oh yeah, her son, he binned it. I was just like, no way. Like, and you think that thing probably hadn't been used for 20 years.
Jesus. I thought that's why you was going to say that's why you're still with your missus, because you're still trying to get this Mega Drive.
That's it.
But I mean, it's like obviously when I know Retro Dave is, you know, in Retro Dave's old job, he used to do a lot of house calls with
he used to see loads of stuff.
And he used to go in, spend time in lofts, and he used to pick up. You know, there was a few occasions where he picked up a Master System, and he was talking to one guy, and he said, "Oh, I used to have a Neo Geo up there," and people just haven't got a clue what sometimes they got in the loft, really, do they?
Definitely not.
Craig saying probably our wank socks in his loft. You want to trade them into CEX, mate?
That's what the smell is in there.
Yeah. Steve saying, Pete, probably if you've been bags with your dad, late 70s full bush porn mags.
Oh dear.
In the loft. Funnily enough, like that reminds me of a little story. So my boss, right, my current boss. So I've worked there sort of 7-8 years, but I've known him for about 25 years, and he's quite a character, let's say. And he is like the king of porn mags, right? So when I first met him, I met his son, and I was friends with his son when we were about 13, and we used to go around his house, right? And he's got all the porn channels, he's got all the porn mags and all this jazz, right? And the funniest thing that ever happened was I went round there one day and he's painting the walls, right? And you know when you paint the walls, you put newspaper down so you don't get it on the floor. Yeah. He had ripped up porn mags all over the floor and he was painting the walls.
So was it white paint?
Yeah. That's the funniest fucking thing. Oh my god. Oh dear. Now he's my boss, which is just hilarious.
Never let him forget it.
No, I don't. Trust me. Yeah. So is that why you stuck with her then, Scott?
Well, that and she got pregnant.
Oh.
No, but she had an N64 as well in the drawers, and just I don't know what these old consoles were doing in this old girl's house. But you know, like old people, they get to a point where they just they just collate things, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, they don't chuck anything out.
Sean asking if he groomed me.
Oh dear.
The obvious answer is yes, he did. He did.
Oh dear.
Right, I said we're going to wrap it up about
50 minutes.
50 minutes ago, yeah. So let's let everybody go, and I'm going to have a very late dinner. But thanks for watching, everyone who's watching in the comments. Good stream. I enjoyed that anyway.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, always nice to chat to you all.
Yep.
4 hours. That's probably longest, I think.
It's gone quick actually.
Yeah, it don't seem like we've been on 4 hours.
Good company.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, nice one, guys.
Definitely.
Thanks again.
Catch up with you guys soon.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Peace.
There's
Bye
me.
bye.
Did that make it onto the screen?
I think it did.